We believe that positive and real change is going to come from the next generation of entrepreneurs. Driven young entrepreneurs from across the world are finding solutions for the world's largest challenges, like climate change, urban development, health issues, and youth unemployment. Being a young entrepreneur is exciting, but not always easy. That's why we set up the Yeah Community, the online community for and by young entrepreneurs. The Yeah Community connects young entrepreneurs from around the world to coaches, resources, growth funding, and, of course, other young entrepreneurs.
The Yeah Community is an interesting platform in that it brings together young entrepreneurs to inspire them and to motivate them to take control of their own future.
So I think the online community for young entrepreneurs really is a valuable platform, especially because it's worldwide. You meet entrepreneurs from all over around the world, and they share their stories, so you can actually learn a lot from them.
My experience with YE community has been very rich and fruitful. I've engaged with them because of their mentorship program, which has given me a great mentor. She has helped me to consolidate my business plan and move from the prototype phase to the business and product phase. Also, IE Community has given me the opportunity to present my work to investors and policymakers at the UN, the G20 and other places. And in addition, I've made great friends from all over the world.
Through the community, you can reach out to other young entrepreneurs in your country and beyond to learn from their experiences, find business opportunities, or just have a cup of coffee. And the best thing is, it's free. So, what's stopping you? Connect, learn, and grow by joining the fastest growing global community of young entrepreneurs today. See you on the Yeah Community.
QBO? Cubo?
It actually just stands for Kubo, as in the Bahay Kubo. And yes, we do have our very own Bahay Kubo in our office.
Just like the Bahay Kubo, we stand for Bayanihan or teamwork. Kubo is a place where the community can come together to help ideas flourish, showcase Filipino innovation, and build great companies.
Filipino startups changing the world. That's our vision. We believe in building a globally competitive startup ecosystem right here in the Philippines. I mean, it's about time, isn't it?
But how do we do it? Let's ask Kubo President.
Kubo is the country's first venture at a physical space to help the startup ecosystem. It's a public-private sector partnership between JP Morgan Chase Foundation, Ideaspace Foundation, the Department of Trade and Industry, and the Department of Science and Technology.
Wait. Did you say public sector? The government? In the Philippines?
Yeah, and they're very supportive. We're proud to have them as a partner. We hope to inspire Filipinos to come and join and be part of this ecosystem. And we want to bring their dreams to reality. In the end, it's going to help themselves, it's going to help their employees, it will help this country.
What do we actually do?
Well, we do this, 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 and this. Whew, seriously, that was so tiring.
But you're missing one more thing. You also do this, the JP Morgan Incubation Program. Kubo picks the top startups from all over the Philippines to be part of the incubation program, where they will receive dedicated mentorship, advanced professional services, curated workshops, and assistance to exiting. External party involvements include government agencies, the Philippine Stock Exchange, and major investors. There's a potential for global exposure as well.
Wow, we do a lot, don't we?
Yes, it's actually as simple as encourage collaboration, develop the community, and provide incubation. Oh gosh, we're so cute.
So, if you are interested to join our events or be part of any of our programs catered to startup development, all you have to do is
Sign up!
Sign up!
Sign up!
Sign up!
Sign up!
And together,
Let's build
The Philippines
Startup Community!
A lot of opportunity.
Slowly but surely.
Potential.
Diversifying. Perfect digital storm.
energetic,
It's young and dynamic.
Very promising. Exciting with an exclamation point.
Exponential.
I've heard from one of the lead partners of Golden Gate Ventures. He said that he has seen more investable startups in the last 6 months than in the last 4 years.
You see more startups today than ever before here.
There are a lot of resources available that weren't available when we started.
When we say government, we're actually talking about DOST, the Department of Trade and Industry, the Commission on Higher Education, CHED, and the other government agencies working together to make sure that our startup ecosystem will actually succeed. We have 2 programs under this year. The first one is called I2Tech. This is for startups with early stage prototypes. We give them assistance in product improvement, market testing, data gathering, business modeling, etc. The second is iScale, provides assistance in scaling up operations, testing of products for certification, rolling out of services. Then we also provide funds for our startups. For now, we have invested 61 million in 15 technology-based startup companies. Basically, after they do the research, they go to the Technology Business Incubator or TBI so that they will get the support needed for any startup. The Kubo Innovation Hub today signals the country's first venture directed to facilitate the growth of startups and entrepreneurs.
Well, Kubo in a nutshell is the Philippines' first attempt at joining the world's startup ecosystem.
Kubo has been one of the centers of networking and community building in startups in the Philippines.
We offer a whole range of services to help startups grow. These include everything from classes and networking events and workshops and consultations, really all for free because we want to help startups succeed.
Kubo provided a whole range of things, like printers that we can use to print our document, up to conference rooms that we can use to meet our customers and to meet our investors.
Government provides the resources so that we can help them out with the things that they're not experts in. Kubo has helped me a lot. Having a community and a place where I can come and join programs that I can learn from.
Well, Kubo would not exist without the government.
That's why we partnered with DOST in this new type of program that brings together the government and the academe with the private sector to make ideas come to reality.
We believe that the young people of Kubo will actually help us encourage young Filipinos to venture and start their companies locally. This is one of the goals of DOST, to create a robust entrepreneurial environment.
The Philippines has a very bright future ahead of it in terms of tech startups.
The big opportunity will come from the local conglomerates, local corporations, understanding the benefit to them.
The e-commerce market in the Philippines was about $500 million in value. They're saying in the next 10 years that it could be worth $10 to $20 billion.
And that's a vision of a country full of young startups which have become large companies and employ huge numbers of Filipinos.
It's a very exciting time to be an investor in the Philippines.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So I'd like to officially welcome our guests for today, our ever-supportive partners, investors, fellow enablers, and of course, the startups. All right? Welcome to the Arise Plus Yay Boost Accelerator Demo Day. Okay, we have a very big audience here today, so I hope that you're all excited to join us live. But also, I want to say hello to those with us watching virtually. We are live streaming right now on Facebook, so thank you to our audience watching the live stream today. It's a wonderful afternoon here at the Blue Leaf Events Pavilion, and we have a lot in store for all of you this afternoon. To officially introduce myself, my name is Bettina Gamboa. I am part of the Startup Development Team at Idea Space Foundation and Kubo Innovation Hub. And I'll be your host for this afternoon, okay? I just want to take a moment. No, I'll look over here. I'll say hi to everyone over here. Hello. I'll take a look on this side of the stage. Hi, everyone. Hope that you are all excited to be here today. And of course, our lovely audience in the center and our judges for today. Hello and good afternoon. I just want to acknowledge that actually, today is our first live face-to-face demo day in 2 years. Can you believe that? Okay, 2 years. You guys are our first live audience since the pandemic started. So thank you for taking the time and effort to commemorate this day with us. Okay, so this afternoon is a glorious milestone for the 12 startups that have undergone the Yay Boost Accelerator. To give you all a bit of context about what this afternoon is for, the accelerator program that we culminate on this very day is a major pillar of the Arise Plus Philippines project, which is actually a 4-year project funded by the European Union, okay? This project aims to foster inclusive economic growth in the Philippines through improved international trade performance and competitiveness, as well as economic integration. Under the project, the International Trade Center, or the ITC, supports government and private operators to better identify and implement export priorities. That being said, I hope every single one of you, our lovely guests, are ready to meet the startups for the day. Today isn't actually just a demo day, okay? For those who may not know, today is not just a demo day, but it is a competition. This program has supported 12 startups over the last 3 months. And among these 12, 8 of them have been selected to pitch in front of all of you, in front of our judges, and in front of our audience live on Facebook right now to win, to shoot their shot at winning a cash grant for the day, okay? So I hope you're just as excited as I am. Today is just the beginning for those teams. And we're already off to a fantastic start, okay? So, to begin, I don't want to take up too much time. The organizing team behind the accelerator is very much ecstatic to have all of you with us. To welcome you all and give her opening remarks, I'd like to call on stage Ms. Maria Esperanza Alconcel, the National Project Coordinator of the Arise Plus Philippines. Everyone, please give Maes Alconcel a big round of applause, everyone.
For the introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank, of course, our partners, the government, led by the Department of Trade and Industry, and of course, our business sector partners as well, PhilExport, PCCI, PYEA, ECCP, and of course, Kubo Idea Space. And of course, to our coaches who made this Boost Accelerator program a success as well. And of course, EU as the funder of this Arise Plus Philippines project. So I'm going to provide you an overview about the Arise Plus Philippines project. So Arise stands for ASEAN Regional Integration Support by the EU. So it's a, sorry, just gonna wait for the slides. Next slide, please. So next slide. Okay. So, and about the Arise Plus Philippines project. It's a 4-year EU-funded project that aims to foster inclusive economic growth and poverty reduction in the Philippines by improving the Philippines' trade performance and competitiveness. And when we say trade performance and competitiveness, the main focus here are the MSMEs. Why? This is very important, especially here in the Philippines, because MSMEs, they represent over 99% of businesses. So under the project, we have 5 outputs. The first one is on government and private operators are better able to identify and implement export priorities, including to the EU. So that includes enabling the policy environment and providing capacity building support on trade and market intelligence. And of course, this one, this Youth and Entrepreneurs Accelerator Program. This is actually part of Output 1, which is in innovation and youth-led startups. And of course, we also have Output 2, and that is promoting the national quality infrastructure of the Philippines. Then Output 3 is on quality management and control systems for food exports. And Output 4 is on trade facilitation. And of course, Output 5 is on promoting the EU-Philippines partnership. So I was talking to some of you a while ago. We have a lot of activities under the project, and this is just one of them. And so if you would want to know more about the other activities, please feel free to reach out to me so that I could tell you the other activities wherein you'll be able to get support as well. So the Arise Plus Philippines project, it aims to contribute to the national development, trade-related frameworks and policies of the government, of course. It also aims to contribute to the Philippine COVID-19 economic recovery strategy, especially the DTI's Rebuild program. And of course, since this is an ASEAN regional integration support by the EU, so it also aims to contribute to the ASEAN trade-related agenda. And of course, as a UN agency, the ITC contributes to the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. Next slide, please. So under the project, we have sustainability and inclusiveness principles. So one is our final beneficiaries under the project are MSMEs. As I've mentioned, MSMEs, they represent over 99% of the businesses in the Philippines. That's why it's very important to focus on them. And we try to make sure that the project activities are not just benefiting the companies, MSMEs here in Metro Manila, but beyond Metro Manila. And then, of course, we also have the gender and youth empowerment, the gender and women empowerment, and because women, the reason why it's crucial to empower women because they invest in other social services. That's education, which we all know, that's actually the key to poverty reduction. They also invest in healthcare services sector, and they work very closely with local communities. That's why it's very important to empower women. And then, of course, we also have the youth empowerment. This is the activity for youth empowerment under the project. Why it's very important to empower youth? Because of the global pandemic, there is now a transition, or the transition to digitalization, innovation has been highlighted, reiterated. And youth are actually the innovation drivers. That's why it's very important that we include youth entrepreneurs in the project. And then we also have we also mainstream green growth because of basically this COVID-19 pandemic, and we also have the risks, the challenges that we're facing due to the climate change. So it's very important that we promote environmental principles across the activities. And of course, as I've mentioned, we try to help the Philippine government contribute to the COVID-19 economic recovery. So we support and seek alignment of project activities or rising needs emerging as a result of COVID-19 and in support of post-COVID recovery and rebuild Philippines. Yeah, so that's all. If you need any, if you have any questions about the Arise Plus Philippines project, please feel free to reach out to me. My email is there. So that you can benefit from the other activities under the project. Thank you once again for attending this very important activity. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Maes, for giving everyone an overview of the project, okay? So now that we've heard from the ITC, of course, it's not an Idea Space Foundation demo day without some wise words from a very special individual in the Idea Space family. All right. Now, for his opening remarks, I'd like to call on Idea Space Foundation President, Mr. Rene Butch Mealy.
There's a saying that fortune favors the bold. In the Arise Plus Yay Boost Accelerator Program and Demo Day, that's a very long title, we have 12 exceptional startups. Over this 14-week program, they've grown their revenues by 64%. They raised funding of close to 18 million pesos, an increase of 150%. The Arise Plus program was created with a bold vision in mind to allow Filipino youth to be globally competitive. The program was designed to equip entrepreneurs with the relevant skills to prepare their ventures for internationalization and teach them about intellectual property protection in particular. Now that we're in the digital age, technology has made it easier for startups to reach customers beyond our borders. As such, making sure that Filipino startups can participate in the global economy and export to bigger markets, that they can truly go global, is imperative and part of Kubo's mission. I'd like to thank our partners, the International Trade Center, the Department of Trade and Industry, and of course, the very hardworking Kubo Idea Space team, without whom this program would not have been possible. The only 3 startups will be chosen as the cohort's winners. I want all the participants to know that in a sense, you are all winners. You've already made a big leap forward in your startup journey, and we can't wait to see how far you'll go. For the investors who are generously sharing their time with us this afternoon, I encourage you to take a look around, meet these people, get to know the entrepreneurs. The Philippines was named Asia's next breakout market just last year. For us, the future is just around the bend. And we intend to seize it and take it as far as we can go. There is a quotation from the scriptures that a lamp is not lighted to be hidden under a bushel. It is put on a lampstand to give light to all the people of the house. My dear startup founders, may your light shine brightly for all the world to see, and good luck to all of you competing today.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rene Butch Mealy, everyone. Of course, once again, thank you, Maes, for the overview. So I was actually going around earlier behind the scenes and I was talking to a lot of the startups, seeing them jump up and down. You can really feel their energy, which is a mix of different colors. There's the really, nervous energy that's, of course, spewing out of them right now. But of course, there's also excitement of being here today, of showing you all what they have for their business. So I think more than anything, what I feel from them is eagerness to be in front of all of you and to be able to showcase what they're doing and why it's important. All right? So, of course, before we hear from the founders, we do have a very special guest who will be giving a keynote speech this afternoon on the importance of taking a global approach to business and why it is necessary to invest in youth entrepreneurs. Okay? Together with everyone, I'd like to welcome virtually the Undersecretary of Competitiveness and Innovation of the Department of Trade and Industry, Yusek Rafaelita Aldaba.
Secretary Ramon M. Lopez, Department of Trade and Industry, Assistant Secretary Napoleon Juanillo, DTI Competitiveness and Innovation Group, Ms. Claire Sterngold, YE Community Manager, Ms. Mais Alconcel, Arise Plus Philippines National Project Coordinator, Ms. Katrina Chan, Executive Director, Kubo Innovation Hub, Director Lilian Salonga, DTI Competitiveness Bureau, members of the startup community, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the Young Entrepreneurs Boost Accelerator Demo Day. First, allow me to take this opportunity to thank the International Trade Center and the European Union for this initiative to foster the growth of a robust Philippine startup ecosystem. Today's demo not only offers a great opportunity to network and engage with the startup community, but also demonstrates a strong commitment from both the private and public sector to promote youth-led entrepreneurship and provide an avenue for creativity and innovation to prosper. Entrepreneurship has become a crucial component of a country's economic growth, particularly in terms of job creation. With innovation serving as the driver of the new strategic growth, the Filipino youth can provide sophisticated solutions that will help address various socioeconomic, health, and environment issues. The Philippines is now in a demographic sweet spot with a median age of 24.3, one of the youngest populations in the world and the youngest in ASEAN. Building on DTI's mandate to assist young entrepreneurs and startups, we recognize the importance of the Arise Plus YE Boost Accelerator program in addressing the critical gaps faced by young entrepreneurs and startups. I would like to congratulate the startups participating in today's demo day. Alaga Health and Empath from the Health and Wellness Cluster, Keep Up Education and Cerebro from the Education Cluster, Payhiram and IOL from the FinTech Cluster, and RideRaid and Panublix from the E-commerce and Logistics Cluster. DTI remains committed to develop and instill an entrepreneurial, innovative, and creative culture among our youth. Our new industrial policy, Inclusive Innovation Industrial Strategy, or ICUBE-S, puts innovation at the heart of the country's economic transformation. We are also implementing the Inclusive Philippinovation and Entrepreneurship Roadmap, which aims to mobilize innovation and entrepreneurship as fundamental tools for reducing, if not eliminating, poverty in the country. Our ultimate goal is to nurture creative and entrepreneurial Filipinos who are driven by a desire to create new products, discover new ways to improve processes, and explore new business models to fulfill market demands. As we implement the Innovative Startup Act, DTI is providing our young and innovative entrepreneurs with the necessary tools to support their commercialization, growth, and internationalization through our incubation and acceleration programs like the Incubation, Development, and Entrepreneurial Assistance, or IDEA program, Accelerating Development, Valuation, and Corporate Entrepreneurship, or Advanced Program, Global Acceleration Program, or GAP, and the Startup Venture Fund program. Through our Creative Industry Development Program, DTI promotes the growth of the creative economy, particularly in areas such as esports, digital animation, software development, and game design. The Philippines is brimming with young entrepreneurs and innovators motivated by a desire to make a difference, leave a lasting effect on society, produce better goods, and fulfill market demands. By creating a vibrant innovation and entrepreneurship environment, we can help our young entrepreneurs unleash their creativity and ingenuity to create disruptive products, processes, and business models that will contribute to inclusive and sustainable industrial development. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now enter the most awaited segment of the afternoon. Are you all ready to hear from the 8 startups, 8 innovative, youth-led impact startups ready for internationalization? Because I tell you, I am, and I hope you are too. All right? So to start off today's pitches, of course, before we bring the startups in, I'd like to introduce the 4 amazing judges who are joining us for this competition. First and foremost, you've met him earlier. Our first judge of the day is Mr. Rene Butch Mayeli, the president of Ideaspace Foundation. Maybe Butch, if you could say a hello or kind words, na? All right? Butch.
Hello, I spoke a lot already. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Butch. So, our next judge for the day, you also met her earlier, actually. I'd like to introduce once again Ms. Maes Aconcel, National Project Coordinator of Arise Plus Philippines. Okay, Maes, maybe a quick hello once again.
Hello and good luck to the competitors. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Maes. All right. Up next, we have Mr. Miguel Encarnacion, Managing Director of ICCP SBI Venture Partners. Welcome to the Arise Plus Accelerator Demo Day, Mr. Miguel. Please say a few words to the startups and audience.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. We're a growth stage investor here in the Philippines, doing deals at Series A onwards. We've started looking at earlier stage deals, so I'm excited to listen to all the pitches today.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much and welcome again as a judge. Last but not the least, I'd like to introduce to everyone Mr. Melvin Jeffrey Chan, Vice President and Head of PLDT Enterprise Innovations and IoT Business Development. So good afternoon, Melvin. Thank you for joining us. Would you have a few words for the startups in the audience today?
Hi guys, so thank you for having me today. I'm part of this cohort, for a while already. I love whatever I've seen. So this morning with the connections session, it was great. So I'm looking forward to see more. And as the largest integrated telco in the company, we position and vision ourselves as tech leaders. So we're here to scout, the best of the best from the startups, so that we can collaborate, co-innovate, and co-branding together. So looking forward. Good luck, guys.
Okay, thank you so much, Melvin. And thank you to all 4 judges. So there you have it, folks. Now moving on to the competition mechanics. Each startup will be given 4 minutes for their live pitch, followed by a 6-minute Q&A segment with the judges. So I think I speak on behalf of our judges and our audience today when I say that we wish all the startups luck, right? Best of luck to all the startups competing. Okay, so here we go. For the first cluster, we have 2 startups making their marks on the health and wellness space. These startups have dedicated their time and resources to innovate the channels of access to health services, both traditional and mental health. Okay, so I'd like to introduce our first 2 startups of the day. Everyone, please give a warm round of applause for Alaga Health, represented by Dr. Dexter Galban, and Empath, represented by Steph Naval.
Have you ever loved someone? A family friend, a partner, a child? I think everyone here today knows what it's like to love someone. And one of the hardest things to do is to say goodbye too soon. This is my grandmother. Unfortunately, when I was much younger, my family lost her because we were unable to easily find affordable quality health care. And today is actually the death anniversary of our COO's grandfather, who was also unable to easily find affordable quality health care. And they're not alone. In the Philippines today, 60% of Filipinos have never even had a full medical checkup, while 60% die without ever seeing a health professional. And this image that I show you today is something that happened to me. I personally saw when I was training as a young doctor how patients would wait up to 10 hours for just 10 minutes worth of medical consultation. And this image plagues our hospitals every single day. For 10 years I've seen this, and why? Because of lack of access to affordable quality health care, maldistribution of gainfully employed health workers, and low investment in health technology. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Dr. Dexter Galban, CEO and founder of Alaga Health. And today it is my honor and privilege to introduce to you the Philippines' first universal digital health marketplace and health service hub, Alaga Health. And what exactly do we do? Through the use of our integrated web systems, fully customizable admin panels, and handy mobile applications, we're able to provide you with just one platform for all your health needs. And how exactly do we do it? It's as simple as A, B, C. First, app. Download the app and open the application. B, book the service that you need, whether that be telehealth, clinic consult, home care, or even laboratory tests. And lastly, C, receive the care that you need at your convenience. But how exactly does the business run? Very simple, ABC as well. First, we run ads and advertisements. Second, B, benefits for patients and employees, particularly those in NGOs and employees of government and MSMEs. And lastly, C, commissions per booking fee for every transaction. And all of these amazing features are done following a B2B2C and B2G2C business model. And while we do have a lot of competitors, as an integrator and aggregator, we are very much open to collaborating with them and expanding our reach. Plus, we are the only one that features health services from government, MSMEs and corporate, and even NGOs and CSOs. And just to make it simple, when it comes to features, when it comes to universality, Alaga Health is the key. And because of this, we're also the first digital health platform with a billing system fully compliant with tax guidelines. LGUs are very excited to work with us, and we're the health service partner of a global media company that's already present in 9 markets. And with that being said, we are currently working with over 40 institutional partners in the Philippines right now, and all of these happened in just the past 2 months with the guidance of the ARISE program. And within that span of time, we were able to reach all of these regions throughout the country. And we didn't just go straight there, we went straight to their chief executives, their governors, and their mayors, all excited to onboard Alaga Health. And with that being said, we were able to transition from 1 LGU partner to 14 LGU partners within the ARISE Boost program, allowing us to double our onboarding patients from NGOs, MSMEs, and LGUs to almost 1 million. And with that being said, this brings us closer to our target of 2 million users onboarding before the end of the year. These were our accomplishments before the end of the year in 2021, and hopefully you will join us as we hit our targets this 2022. And with that being said, all of this has been made possible by our dedicated team of health professionals, government officials, international designers, and software developers, and our very dedicated and loving team. And with that being said, we are currently on track towards hitting our targets and goals for development, and hopefully you'll be able to join us on that journey, more so that we have already began collaborating with our international partners. And given these opportunities accorded to us by the ARISE Boost Plus program, we were able to actually convert them into enterprising ventures and convert them into benefits for our business. So with that being said, All of these have been our accomplishments in 2021, and we're excited about the prospect of 2022. And hopefully you will join us in telling more people about Alaga Health, because when it comes to healthcare, what we want is to provide healthcare anytime, anywhere, in every way. Because when it comes to healthcare, it's always about getting better together. Thank you very much.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Alaga Health. Okay, getting better together. You heard Dr. Dexter. Okay, so Doc Dex, I hope you're ready because right now we are going to enter shortly into your Q&A. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, since this is the first pitch, I would like to reiterate that there will be a 6-minute live Q&A with the judges. So your 6-minute Q&A begins now. Judges, the floor is now open for your questions.
Maybe I can start. Thanks, Dexter, for that pitch. My question is, how do you see the Alaga Health be expanded into overseas markets? Because I saw that they're all local market at the moment.
Yes. One of the exciting things about Alaga Health is that we have a telehealth feature that can easily be replicated and actually be brought abroad. In fact, right now on standby are 2 doctors stationed in Germany and in the UK right now in case you want to speak with them. Because what's amazing about this is that Filipinos there, OFW community, is excited about being able to speak to a Filipino healthcare professional. Kausap nila sa kanilang salita. And at the same time, we are able to now field health professionals who have taken their licensure exams over there and can now begin servicing individuals that are localized in that particular area, giving us the opportunity to expand our market to those networks, not just the OFW community.
Hi, thank you, Doc. It's actually quite impressive about your accomplishment. I'd like to know a little bit more on your future roadmap, because a while ago I overheard that on the IoT side, Internet of Things, if you can elaborate a little bit more.
Thank you very much, sir. One of the great things that we experienced when going to the different regions across the country, again with the support of the Arise Boost Plus program, is that we were able to speak to the LGU heads, the mayors, the governors. And while all of them were absolutely excited about being able to digitalize their health services, one of their key requests to us is, maybe would it be possible for you to put your system into a device that we can station in our LGUs, our MHUs, among others. And it's something that we hopefully will be able to discuss with our partners from PLDT, among other telecommunication companies, because it's something that people need and people want. And hopefully with your help, we can achieve together.
Hi, Dex. Love what you're doing. Very ambitious. It's good. There's a lot of things going on, right? And it feels like a health super app to me. I think a lot of these super apps don't really start out trying to be super apps, but they're just doing one particular thing very well, and that's their wedge into the market. What is that wedge for you?
Our capability to target non-communicable diseases, because these are the kinds of conditions that require long-term care. That's why when Alaga Health burst into the picture, our targets were those with hypertension, with diabetes, with thyroid conditions, those that will require different modalities of care anytime, anywhere, in every way. And that will allow them to customize how they receive that care and improve their compliance. And actually, based on our experience, compliance actually increased because prices are being pushed lower, because when a health provider puts a price that's too high, their likelihood of being booked is lower. While in fact, those that are able to price themselves properly are able to get themselves booked all throughout the day.
So who's solving that problem right now? Essentially, who are you disrupting with your wedge? Who's solving that current problem? Is there nobody?
In fact, sir, there are a lot of individual entities that are currently trying to solve that. As mentioned, we have a lot of competitors focusing on telehealth, on home care, as well as...
Just the wedge. Just the wedge. The one thing that you want to be best at to enter the market. Who's solving that right now?
There are actually quite a lot of entities, sir, but they're primarily disease-based. Very, very niche. And you will see later, my dear friend will be coming here talking about mental health specifically. For us, it's non-communicable diseases as a whole because all of them are inherently linked. And this is through our lens as health professionals, because we know that when you have hypertension or diabetes, that can definitely lead to a potential kidney disease, amongst others. And our understanding of that dynamic allows us to really understand how we can better roll out the different modalities of care to our patients, and something that LGUs and our international partners are actually excited about.
Dr. Dexter, why are you focusing only on the non-communicable? Because let's say I think I may have COVID or the flu or something. Why you're not going to take my call?
Yes, sir, we can take your call. However, in terms of being specialized, our approach really would be more on the non-communicable diseases because of the variations of the care modality that they would need. Not only do they need in-person consult, they would also need telehealth, they would also need laboratory tests. So that mix in variety is absolutely important in the patient's journey. However, because of communicable diseases and something that's also present in the LGUs and abroad, it's also something that we cater to. But in terms of specialization, we specialize with NCPs.
But you're not leaving a big part of the market out?
Actually, sir, we're open to them because we're accepting general consults. So even communicable diseases are able to be seen by us. Actually, our top call, even if we're focusing on NCDs, is still the common cold because of everyone's fear about COVID, trying to check if their symptoms match up with what the current concerns are when it comes to the virus.
Your revenue's $75,000.
Yes, sir, that's our target, sir, for the year. Actually, our total number
For the year.
Yes.
For the year.
That's our target for the year, sir, because we hope to focus now on more on the marketing and sales. 2021, we focused more on tech development. This year, we're pushing hard on sales and marketing and expanding to the regions and MSMEs in order for us to better convert that database, that large database, into regular using customers.
You said you had 500,000.
Before, sir, before the program, we had about 500,000, 550. And eventually, through the program, because we took the route of collaborating with LGUs, we were able to almost double that because of the crowd and the community.
Okay, so let me put the elephant on the table, right? I'd like to ask about the accountability. So in case through your platform something happened with the patients, who's going to take accountability? Is it the service provider? Is it the doctors? Or I'd like to understand that perspective.
In our platform, sir, when we do orientations with our health partners, we do tell them that we will always side with the patients, primarily because it is for their benefit and care that we're after. However, we tell our health providers to undergo particular sets of trainings. And this is their licenses on the line. It's their practice on the line. Plus, since we allow them to provide feedback, it's very easy to find out which ones are not performing well. And you can only rate once you've undergone a particular consultation or used a service. So that in itself is a wonderful check and balance to ensure that we provide the best care, yet still giving an incentive to our health providers to use the platform. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you so much, judges, and Dexter Galban of Alaga Health, everyone. Okay, now we'd like to call onto the stage Miss Steph Naval of Empath.
At 14 years old, I was manifesting several mental health conditions. And because of this, I was forced to navigate my way through the mental health care system in the Philippines, and it was extremely difficult. Hence, I decided to launch Empath, which is a mental health service provider that aims to provide accessible mental health services. So good day, everyone. My name is Steph Naval, founder and CEO of Empath. Let's dive into the problem. So with the problem, there is a lack of mental health care access. With the recent mental health law enacted in the Philippines, it mandates workplaces, schools, and local government units to set aside budget for mental health support systems for their communities. And we have the personas here, such as Harold, the HR manager, Tess, the teacher and school admin, and also Manny, the mayor, all of which are experiencing extreme anxieties and low moods, especially with the aftermath of the pandemic. And because of this, they need a machinery of mental health professionals to cater to the thousands of people that would need mental health services. And for this, it's not only a local problem, but it's also a global problem. For around at least 970 million people suffer from a psychological disorder worldwide. We're hoping to target the 655.2 million people in Southeast Asia, and also the 110 million Filipinos and the 30% obtainable market. So our solution here is Empath, which is a combination of a mental health service provider and a web platform. And with Empath, it also includes this value of our product. So we broke down the pain points of the mental health care system and what we can provide as a competitive edge from our competitors. It's divided into efficiency, affordability, quality, and reliability. So we have efficiency from an average of 2 to 4 months of waiting time to as short as at least 10 minutes till your next appointment. From $85 to $124, it would be around $5 or 300 pesos per session for as low as that. And quality and reliability, which is something that lacks here in the mental health care system in Southeast Asia. So there's quality assurance systems and curation. Lastly, because other companies would just mainly cater to workplaces and it only caters to adult clients, we can cater to children and family, thus making it friendlier for schools and local government units. So the revenue streams or business model we have is the profit per telemental health consultation, and then also B2B mental health plans, then subscription for expansion. Next, we have a Seamless. This is more of the basic form of our platform. You choose your psychologist, and then you book your appointment. And then after that, it's already all set, and your appointment is already there. And for this, we have over 40 mental health partners and clients, and we were able to gauge of 1,382 consumed consultations, over $180,400 value of total signed contracts, and we ended our first year of operations net positive. And we have over 40 clients and partners, a mix of nonprofits, workplaces, and schools, such as ABS-CBN Foundation, Ateneo de Manila University, etc. And then next is we have the financial projections. We're hoping to utilize a subscription revenue stream by 2024, expand to Southeast Asia countries, and hopefully gain over 14 million registered users by 2026. Next, we are a strong team of individuals who are background in psychology and business, and also usually companies and clinics have 6 to 12 mental health professionals, but for us, we have over 20 mental health professionals in our platform. And then next, we also have media and awards. We received the 2.7 million pesos worth of awards supported by 3 government institutions. And also, because of the good work we've been doing so far, we've been featured on CNN and also Rappler. So at the end of the day, we're hoping to ask 800,000 through a SAFE. And through this 800,000, in the next 2 years, we'll be able to achieve over 2 million people of registered users, over 100 schools and 100 businesses that will be supported by Empath, platform development, and $2 million worth of total gross revenue. So at the end of the day, Empath started because of personal advocacy. And because of this is a real problem, not only nationwide, but globally. And I hope and invite you all to join this journey with us to make mental health care more accessible for all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Steph. One more round of applause, everyone, for Empath. Okay. So, as you know, Steph, we will be entering now our Q&A portion. We will be having a timer on the screen for the judges' reference. And now, the floor is now open. Your 6-minute Q&A begins now.
Hi, Steph. Very quickly, you may want to look at like healthcare workers and BPO, from the BPO industry, because there's high stress in both, especially in healthcare. Now, the other thing is that there are reports of some suicides in like places like Siargao, Nagat, which have been hit by disasters. So that might be an area that you can look into. Again, working maybe either with DOH or with the LGUs there. But just a suggestion. Thanks.
Yes, thank you so much for that.
Hi, Steph. We actually met before, right?
Yes.
I remember asking you, how are you able to bring down the rates? And I remember you saying, Madugo to explain that answer. Maybe you have a better understanding of that, how you do that better now.
Yes, sure. For now, we hope there's an untapped market. So a lot of people think there's psychologists and psychiatrists. So there is a scale of 1 to 10 of severity of mental health professionals. So we try to increase the supply by tapping either social workers or psychometricians. So let's say it's around, 2,000 for the psychologists and psychiatrists in the Philippines. But then for the untapped licensed psychometricians, which is like a lower tier, that is over 24,000 available in the Philippines. So for that, what we try to do is we try to contribute to the ecosystem. So these are psychometricians or grad students that undergo training. They're by a supervising psychologist, and they go through a robust program that we in-house developed. So it's a whole machinery system in place, and that's why we're able to also drive down the cost. Because mental health professionals are also willing to exchange for learning and growth, and also development of their practice for a lower rate if you create this ecosystem. So what a lot of people forget about, let's say, the mental health care system, it's all about the clients in the market, etc. But it's a two-sided market that you need to manage. And I think that's also strength for Empath, is really managing that type of market well. So for us, another strategy that we're hoping to do is really to collaborate, such as telehealth platforms, to be able to be their mental health arms there. So we've spoken with several mental health platforms, because a lot of people recognize it takes a whole machinery to manage mental health professionals. So for us, it's a mix of the MHPs and also the lower tiered ones that can handle, let's say, the severity of cases of 1 to 3. And then there's a triaging, and then they upsell also for the psychologists and psychiatrists. So that also captures the market. At the same time, there's a low barrier of entry point for clients. Yeah.
All right. If you can elaborate a little bit more on how you plan to address the international markets in Southeast Asia, because everywhere has different laws and regulations, right? How are you going to address this point? Thanks.
Yes, I think that's a really great question. What's very unique at Southeast Asia, there's not much regulations when it comes to cross-border compared to the US. I think the US is very states-based, but for us, that's actually borderless for providing telemental health consultations. Our first target market is really OFWs, so we've been catering to OFWs already, just to experiment on how we can do internationalization. But eventually, we're hoping to expand to 2 more Southeast Asian countries in the future and be able to tap in there also the mental health professionals there. So we want to first focus on the Philippine market and then later on expand.
In relation probably to the question of Melvin, ITC actually came up with this, conducted this global MSME survey on the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic to MSMEs. And it was found out actually that MSMEs, especially women and youth entrepreneurs, were impacted negatively in terms financially, physically, and psychologically. So I think this one is really very important. So in relation to or in addition to what Melvin is asking, yeah, I noticed that it's only for Filipinos, but then you've mentioned that there's actually a high demand globally. So are you planning to expand to other countries outside of the Southeast Asia region, especially EU, for instance? And are you targeting the non-Filipinos? And how do you intend to expand or to cater for the non-Filipinos? Thank you.
Yes, that's another great question. So we are hoping to expand beyond Southeast Asia. And for this one, yes, definitely non-Filipinos. And the way we're hoping to strategize that is really to create a base in the mental health space. I think the advantage of being a Filipino company is that we're well-versed also with English, and we have an OFW connection worldwide. So that's over 2 million OFWs worldwide. So trial for international, but yes, later on, we're hoping to cater to non-Filipinos and also expand our mental health professional base. So for us, I think why we highlight, it's not just a tech platform, but also a service provider that can do quality assurance, training, to also really raise the standard of mental health professionals worldwide.
So you book the appointments. And
Sorry?
then you book the appointments, and the consultations are online, in person?
Yes,
Or
they're telemental health consultations.
So it's
Yes.
a Zoom thing?
Yes, and what's great is that really for Southeast Asia, it's borderless compared to US regulated laws.
A while ago, between Alaga mentioned about your integrations, right?
Yes.
Can you elaborate exactly how would that work?
Yeah, so for us, we noticed another more interesting market. So our go-to market strategy would be the API feature of Empath. So we've had HR companies come to us, telehealth companies come to us and say, hey, we launched a mental health arm, but we kind of don't want to manage it, or it's too difficult. So we're like, sure, we can be the provider for you. So for example, Alaga Health powered by Empath. And there's like revenue profit sharing, and it releases the headache, saves up time and everything for those providers.
All right, so that wraps up the Q&A for Empath. Thank you so much, Steph Naval of Empath, everyone. And let's give a round of applause for our health and wellness startups, Alaga Health and Empath. Okay, so now that we're done, let's keep the ball rolling. Our next cluster will be 2 startups disrupting the education space through digitization. All right? Online learning and digital education has become an absolute necessity in a time like COVID, and they're here to serve those who are riding this new wave of digitization in the education sector. I'd like to introduce our next 2 startups, KipHop Education, represented by Eman Perez, and Cerebro, represented by Justin Itugot. Please give them a round of applause, everyone.
Let's wait. Okay, so hello everyone. I am Eman Perez, and my team and I are the creators of KipHop Education. Our current educational system is becoming obsolete. In this traditional system, a lot of our students struggle to keep up with the lessons because they are all forced to learn at the same pace. And by the time they have to go home and do their homeworks, the time where they need guidance the most, the teachers aren't there to guide them. You'd expect that innovations through e-learning would help solve this problem, but because of poor implementation and execution, millions of students have been left unmotivated. This is a reality that can be experienced by 1.5 billion students worldwide. But what if I told you that we have built a system that better utilizes technology and modern techniques to provide better learning? KipHop Education is sparking a movement in an $89 billion industry that is in e-learning, and we're inviting everyone to be a part of it. In our system, students get to learn concepts and build foundations through high-quality, repeatable videos that feel like watching movies. And to master the concepts, students go through guided learning with the help of their teachers and collaborations with fellow students. As we usher in this new age of learning, we have implemented and validated this system in a mentorship program for the civil engineering licensure exam here in the Philippines. And the results? Kevin, who previously failed the board exam 3 times already, after being a part of our program, is now a licensed civil engineer. While Jason, who failed class after class during his college days, is now a lead engineer in a construction company. And to give everyone a bigger picture, the national passing rate for the civil engineering board exam is just about 39%. KipHop's passing rate, 81%, more than double the national average. And we've produced 2 board top-notchers in the process. Batch by batch, we've helped a growing number of students fulfill their dreams of becoming a licensed civil engineer. And the model is simple. Students pay us $102 for a 6-month access to our program, which is built upon a scalable model that boasts a 75% gross profit margin. And in that 2 years of operations, we've accumulated 8.9 million pesos in revenue. To further support these engineers, we also recently launched the International Career Assistance Program, a program that equips Filipino civil engineers with the necessary training to work overseas. We have secured partnerships with these companies representing over 6 countries and 595 signups in just 2 weeks of launch. This roadmap, which helps students from college to licensing to professional life, will be replicated to other fields of study. And with our initial success, just imagine what we can achieve as we move forward in this advocacy. We are looking for dedicated advisors and strategic partners, as well as that will lead us to the right direction, as well as $600,000 to accelerate the expansion plans of the company. Imagine a future where everyone can learn at their own pace through quality education delivered by the best talents in the country. This is the future KIPAP Education continuously strives for, and an investment in our startup is an investment in the future of the next generation. Thank you for listening, and join us as we change the way people learn.
Thank you, KIPAP Education. So, Eman Paris, everyone from KIPAP. So, Eman, remember, after this will be a 6-minute live Q&A, all right? So, your 6 minutes will begin once the timer shows on the screen, all right? So, give it a few seconds. Okay, ready? And your Q&A segment starts now.
All right, thank you very much for your presentation. But let me ask something about this.
Yes.
Education apps is actually a very crowded space. How do you differentiate yourself from the others? And are you making money right now? Or if not, when are you expect to be return off or break even?
All right. So, our company actually focuses on the content and the systems that provides better, more efficient, and more effective learning. So we focus on specialization also, and to the target market that we're trying to cater to. In terms of if we're making money, we're actually, the 8.9 million pesos, around 50% of that is is very liquid, and we have that in our bank accounts. So we've already returned the investment, the initial investment of creating the program itself in the first batch alone.
How do you know that the system works? So what I want to know is, how are you so sure that the quality of your education is so much better? The data point you showed us can suffer from survivorship bias, right? Like obviously the people who would enroll for supplemental classes are the ones that want to do better. So if you just take that cohort and compare that to the national average, then it's going to be much better. So I need more data points, or I need to be convinced that your product is actually producing, like higher quality education.
All right. So aside from those metrics that we showed you, we're also going to invest in data analytics, as well as to better provide assessment analytics for our enrollees. So that's when you invest in us, that's one of the key things that we are going to provide. But right now, the passing rate that we showed you, aside from the quantitative data, is also a qualitative data that we can happily show you is an overwhelming number of responses from our enrollees saying that our way of teaching is much better than what they've experienced before. So there. I hope that answered your question for now.
If I can ask one more questions.
Yes.
What you're targeting is actually the board exam takers, right?
Yes.
So what happened, it's more one-time fee. It's not recurrent. So how do you address that?
Okay, so that's one of the main aspects of this industry, the board exam, is you have to replenish the market batch by batch. And we've continuously done that, as you've seen through the graph that I showed you. We do this through a robust marketing strategy that is being led by one of our CMOs, by our CMO, Thierry Sandoval.
Man, I didn't see anything about your team.
Yes. Actually, I have an extra slide, but okay. So I'm the CEO. I'm an industrial engineer, and I have extensive work in project management by owning multiple businesses, including a multi-million peso construction company. Our COO, Engineer Victor Villafuerte, who is right there, Engineer Victor Villafuerte he's actually a prominent figure in the e-learning space here in the Philippines, and he has created a community of 31,000 engineering students and professionals. While our CMO, Therese, has helped lead an international startup scale before, and she handles all of our marketing and sales operations for the past 2 years.
Those relationships with those companies, what's the nature of that partnership? Providing them with engineers? How
I'm
does that
sorry?
work? You had partnerships with certain companies?
The companies for the International Career Assistance Program.
How does that work?
So how that works is they give us the curriculum that they want, the training that they want for the Filipino civil engineers, such as language training or standards in their engineering space there. So we consolidate that and make a special curriculum for the companies, and they pay us for if we provide them with the engineers, and also we also get upfront payment from the Filipino civil engineers to go through that program and that opportunities.
For the international career assistance, which countries have you covered?
So mostly the countries that comprise of those companies are Denmark, Netherlands, and Ireland, as well as Singapore, US, and Canada.
In terms of the program, the content, do you include like the sustainability angle, especially environmental sustainability? Because most of the countries now globally, they're really focusing on the sustainability, environmental sustainability aspect.
Yes, actually, that's one of the training that we are gonna include in the curriculum, especially for the Singapore companies, because they're very high on green engineering nowadays, and so this is one of the requirements that they want to include in their curriculum.
Okay, that wraps up the Q&A segment for Keep Up Education. Thank you so much, Eman, and the judges for your questions. Next up in this sector, I'd like to now call on our next startup, Cerebro, represented by Justin Itugot.
Hello everyone, I'm Justin and I'm the CEO of Cerebro. We are a group of teachers who aim to innovate teaching by allowing our fellow educators to make teaching an enjoyable passion and not just a stressful job that could give them thoughts about leaving their careers. This is Teacher Anna, a grade school faculty member in a medium-sized private school handling 8 online classes with 50 students each. However, these classes are not of the same subject, since teachers in the elementary level are usually expected to teach students in several learning areas, which could also be different from their field of specialization. Because of this, Anna needs to do an extensive research on the subjects that are assigned to her, so she could prepare her instructional materials well, while also allocating time for her other administrative duties such as computing grades, preparing reports, and the like. Based on existing data, each teacher spends at least 2 hours per day for lesson preparation, which sums up to around 400 hours of preparation time for the entire school year. And this also becomes a pain point for school administrators after seeing a great number of teachers who are resigning from their jobs each year. Studies also show that such heavy workload of teachers has a significant effect on the quality of education, yielding low scores in standardized exams. And this is not just a problem in the Philippines. This is the same situation that teachers from around the world are experiencing right now. So we created Cerebro, a collection of ready-made lessons, curriculum-based quizzes, and printable modules that we could share with teachers to effectively reduce their workload and improve the quality of teaching. Unlike other e-learning products that focus on the platform alone, we took it a step further by providing the ready-made teaching and learning materials, which we have carefully designed to align with the standard curriculum, so we can ensure that teachers are providing quality education to their students. Right now, we have covered 94% of the entire Philippine K-12 curriculum with nearly 3,000 e-learning materials. And as we go for the international market, we are aiming to create additional contents based on the International Common Core Curriculum, particularly on mathematics, reading, and language arts. So we can also help teachers from around the world in reducing their workload and improving their teaching quality. There are more than 93 million teachers in the world, and among this number, 32 million are in countries where English is the primary medium of instruction, who could benefit from solutions like that of Cerebro. With our current contents alone, we can already help up to 1.2 million teachers in the Philippines. And we would like to share this innovative way of teaching to those outside the country to achieve a wider impact. Right now, we have over a dozen schools who are using Cerebro as their e-learning platform with our contents, and we are able to generate $220,000 in revenue for the past 2 years. 75% of our team is composed of licensed professional teachers, so unlike other players, our expertise is more on instructional design and not just on technology. As we go for the international market, we are aiming for a content licensing and franchising agreement with LMS providers both in the local and foreign markets. This way, we will be able to benefit from their market leadership and familiarization in our target countries, while we are also allowing them to increase their competitive advantage by packaging our contents with their existing LMS platforms. Right now, we have already tested the compatibility of our contents with several LMS platforms such as Moodle and Canvas for the open source platforms, and even with some commercial ones like Neo and Schoology, and we are aiming to expand the list of compatible platforms by the third quarter of this year. But we cannot do this alone. We are raising $400,000 in seed funding, where 45% will be spent for product development, 30% for operations, and 25% for marketing that will give us enough runway for the next 24 months. Right now, we are already at our break-even point, and we expect to be profitable by school year 2024-2025. So if you support us in this initiative, connect with us so we can make a global impact in education together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Justin, of Cerebro. Okay, so now we will be having your 6-minute Q&A. Just to reiterate, the Q&A will be signaled at an end once you hear the bell, all right? Now your 6-minute Q&A with the judges begins. Floor is open for questions now.
I love the problem you're solving, but why do you want to go global? I mean, I understand that this is the accelerator program, but this is a larger problem in the Philippines than in most other countries, right? Like, just stay here. Why do you want to go abroad?
Of course, that is part of what we have considered. But there is a limited market size in the Philippines. There are only 14,000 private schools in the Philippines, and we don't want to limit ourselves with that. So we would want to explore possibilities by integrating our contents with other LMS providers even outside the Philippines.
Contents creation actually require a lot of times and energies, right? Do you have a team actually continue sustainably creating contents? How do you manage that?
Okay, so 75% of our team are licensed professional teachers, and aside from our core team, we have a pool of part-time instructional designers who are private school teachers. As you may know, the employment of private school teachers is just for 10 months, and they do not get employed during the 2-month summer vacation. So instead of them remaining unemployed for those 2 months, we get their services to serve as instructional designers for 2 months. So that way, we are able to speed up the content creation and offer these contents to our partner schools.
When you develop the modules, do you base it on or align it with the Philippine standards, education standards, or do you align it wherever your target market is, or do you align it with international best practices?
Right now, our materials are at 94% alignment with DepEd's K-12 curriculum. We actually have 2 consultants on board, one from the Department of Education, ensuring the alignment of our learning materials with DepEd's learning competencies. We also have a psychometrician on board who is actually checking if our test bank items are actually measuring the learning competencies correctly. But as we go for the international market, we are aiming to align these materials to the International Common Core Curriculum, particularly on mathematics, reading, and language arts, following the same cycle of content development.
Just to be clear, the school pays you so that you can help their teachers.
What we are doing is we are offering our package of contents to schools so they can put it on top of their existing LMS platforms. But for our local market, for schools who do not have their own platforms, we assist them with hosting so we can manage everything on our end and free up their team, especially the smaller schools with all the technical worries that they might have.
I'll go back to my question. I don't understand why you want to go to the international market, right? Like, there is so much competition out there. There's so many content providers. Like, I understand maybe it's a small market in the Philippines, but it doesn't mean that it's not a good business, right? And I'm saying that now because I think, like all of this startup hype, I need to become the next unicorn, I need to go after $1 billion market. If you're going after a Philippine market, it might still be good. Maybe just don't raise external funding. Run it as a normal business, and you're solving a big enough problem for people who actually need it, right? Like, nobody needs this outside. There's so much content out there. If you want to go abroad, go to Indonesia maybe, go to LATAM. Like, sorry, but nobody needs this in Europe. Like, I really don't think that there's a need for it.
So that is actually a valid point. But as far as internationalization and the market size, I don't want to limit the possibilities. So these are some things that we have already tested in the Philippines, which I think would also work for other countries. So for internationalization, our initial target is actually the Philippine schools overseas. There are 32 Philippine schools overseas, and right now, one of them is already using Cerebro because, as you may know, contents from the Philippines are not available in these countries. So they are our primary target market. And once we have gotten the feel of how the edtech industries work in these countries, that's the time maybe that we can consider if we will pursue other plans for internationalization beyond our initial plan of reaching these Philippine schools overseas.
You're asking for $400,000 US. That's around 21 million pesos. So that you can use those in the next 24 months?
Yes.
Your run rate seems kind of fast. You're burning money quite fast. You sure about that math?
Yeah, because we need to develop contents. We need to create additional contents. As you may know, curriculum-based contents have a lifetime of 4 to 6 years only before this gets updated. We need to get our contents updated all the time. So we need to follow the curriculum being used by the different schools, particularly those that are offered by the Department of Education, as well as the International Common Core Curriculum. So that's why we are spending 45% of that amount for product development alone, and with ensuring the compatibility of our materials with other LMS providers that are existing in the market.
Are you profitable now?
We are at break-even point right now. We are expecting to be profitable by school year 2024-2025.
In your comparison, actually, you compare yourself with some other space, right? But you didn't put the famous one in the map, right? Why is that?
In terms of content providers in the Philippines, most of the edtech providers here are focused on the platform. So indirectly, our competitors here in our country are the educational publishing houses, which are more focused on the publication of physical textbooks. There is actually very limited competition here in terms of producing digital contents test banks for K-12 schools. So that's what included.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you very much to our judges and of course Justin Itugot of Cerebro. Let's give one last round of applause for our education cluster startups, KipApp Education and Cerebro. Are we good to go, ladies and gentlemen? All right, 2 clusters down and 2 more to go. One of the strongest clusters now in the Philippines and in the region, of course, is none other than FinTech. All right, our next two startups will be coming from this very sector. One creating new, convenient ways for local and international payment remittances, and another developing a platform for efficient cooperative management and regulatory compliance. I'd like to introduce our next two startups of the third cluster, Payhiram, represented by Kenneth Canales, and IOL, represented by Kevin Philip Gayao. Let's give them a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon, everyone. Once again, I'm Kenneth Canales, the founder and CEO of Payhiram, where money is processed by people. Welcome to the Philippines, a country with 112 million population, more than 7,000 islands, and over 12 million Filipino overseas. Did you know that there are only 23,000 ATMs in the country, which means one ATM for every 4,800 people? This is Gates' problem every time he wants to withdraw cash. On top of that, he needs to travel to the nearest branch, which requires at least an hour. Similarly, Christine, an OFW from US, sent remittance to her sister Rika, which is among the 11,000 people needs to travel to the nearest branches because we only have at least 10,000 branches across the country. People like Gade and Christine experience numerous problems, like higher fees, low foreign exchange conversion rates, Can I redo it? Can I start? I will just, okay, sorry. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kenneth Canales, the founder and CEO of Payhiram, where money is processed by people. Welcome to the Philippines, a country with 112 million population, more than 7,000 islands, and 12 million Filipino overseas. Did you know that there are only 23,000 ATMs in the country, which means one ATM for every 4,000 people? This is Gates' dilemma every time he wants to withdraw cash. On top of that, he needs to travel to the nearest branch, which requires at least an hour. Similarly, Christine, an OFW from US, sends remittance to her sister Rika, which is among the 11,000 people needs to travel to the nearest branch because we only have at least 10,000 branches across the country. People like Christine and Gade experience numerous problems with the current setup, like higher fees, low foreign exchange conversion rates, plus the travel expenses. At Payhiram, we have a game-changing solution. By involving ordinary people like you, we are Payhiram partners to process transactions like remittances, cash withdrawals, and more. Our bidding platform allows Payhiram partners to set their own competitive rates to conduct international and local transfer. What makes this even better is it can be done in just minutes. Payhiram currently provides these following services: remittances, foreign exchange, withdrawals, cash-in, wallets, payments, and pabayad po. So let me show you how it works. Instead of going out, using Payhiram, Gade just need to create a remittance of withdrawals request, select a shipping option, either pick up, deliver, deposit to e-wallet, or bank. Now he chooses to deliver. Select location, fill up the amount, authenticate, and send. Now he receives 4 proposals from our partners. Now he receives 4 proposals from our partners. He can choose what is cheapest and fastest. He chooses to transact with Rika. Rika will deliver the cash to Gade. We leverage Rika's money to process Gade's withdrawals request. In return, Rika receives an e-wallet value. This is the same for local and international remittances. For example, Christine, an OFW from US, sent remittances to her sister Rika. She just need to create a withdrawals remittance request. She just need to create a remittance request, select shipping options, choose what is cheapest and fastest, and then complete the transaction. Your sister Rika doesn't need to go out. The cash can be delivered at her doorstep in just minutes. Pihiram also offers send-to wallets and payments with 0 fees. The benefits of having money processed by people is we provide more flexibility, like the cash can be delivered, it can be picked up, it can be deposited to a bank or e-wallet, and the best thing is it can be done in just minutes. Pihiram has a big market to play in. According to World Bank data last year, the Philippines ranked 4th in global remittances, amounting to more than $34 billion US. And imagine the Philippines still processing more than $96 billion of non-digital transactions and more than $34 billion of digital transactions. So how does Pihiram earn? For every transaction processed by our partner, we take only 20%. The rest goes to our partner. We're currently looking for $2 million US to be used for international expansion in the next 2 years. We are currently available in the US and Philippines with more than 11,000 users. Our goal is to serve at least 2% of OFW and Filipinos to save time and money while creating economic opportunities to those people looking for extra income. Our customers can cash in and cash out to our partnered outlets in the Philippines. Our customers in the US can cash into our partnered banks in the US. Thank you. And for more information, you can visit our website, pihiram.ph. Join us and be part for the transactions where money is processed by people.
Thank you for the pitch, Pihiram. And on behalf of the team, I'd like to apologize for the technical difficulties. So thank you all for your patience. All right, so your 6-minute Q&A will begin shortly. Once again, you will be signaled at the end of your 6 minutes by a bell, all right? So let us begin. Your 6-minute Q&A begins now. All right, so judges, the floor is now open for questions.
Thank you, Kenneth, for that. How would you distinguish your Pihiram with other competitors?
The beauty of Pihiram is we allow people to process transactions with other customers. So this will set us apart to other fintech in which the company itself will process the transactions. Will it take at least 3 days? For example, Wise and Remitly, it will take at least 3 days to transactions. But this one, since we're able to work with people, have money in the Philippines to process remittances for that person, and then it can be done in just minutes. It's because they are competing to complete those transactions as well.
How do you keep your human ATM safe?
So in terms of the KYC, is people cannot transact, the customers cannot transact unless they are not verified. And also, if you want to withdraw, you need to have at least a balance to your wallet. And then on the other hand, for our partners, is we undergo trainings so that, for example, delivering this cash to that customer. So we want that partners also to learn how to work on the delivery. We want for certifications as well, so that all transactions will be verified, as well as our customers can assure that this partner is legit, and then they can process the transactions. They can help that customers to process.
The way I look at it, there's a lot, it's very decentralized. There's a lot of key stakeholders in it. But if something happened with a problem, who has take accountability of chasing and solve it?
So for resolutions, we have that internally as well, in which customers and partners can file a dispute, whatever happens to the transactions, and then we will be the one, the company, Pihiram, will resolve those transactions. We will review all of those documentations. So how it works is, for example, if someone will send remittance, he can take pictures like signatures and also pictures of that receiver that receives that amount, and then it can be sent also to our messenger.
How big is your operational team just to handle those issues?
Again, I'm sorry.
How big is your operational teams or back-end office to support that?
Right now, so we have around 17 people working on the back end.
Who are these partners that you're working with?
So these partners are those only have extra money in which we can leverage to process those transactions also with other people. So it can be anyone, but we ask for certain requirements. For example, we have 4 categories of partners. One is the basic partners, in which is ask valid IDs, and then they need to undergo trainings. We have also standard partners and business partners, and we will ask them another set of requirements, such as business permit. And then we have also for enterprise partners, and we will ask, of course, other is easy certifications and so on.
So these partners provide
Yes.
customers for you.
Yeah. So the business partners will process all of those transactions requested by our customers. And our job for PHiram is to work with number of customers to give those transactions to those partners so that they can process it right away.
And do you have revenues right now or
Right now, we're able to process almost 1 million transactions already. And then in terms of revenues, since we're still new, we just launched last October 2021. And what happened is audit hit in Cebu as well, so we held the operations for more than 4 months, and we're able to relaunch again 3rd week of May. So we're able to manage more than 11,000 customers already. But in terms of revenues, we're still not generating revenues because again, it's fintech. We want to gain trust. We want to ask trust also to these people, in which it requires us 0 fees initially. But how it works is, for example, if someone will send money, and then the charge for that is, let's say, 200 pesos, and then including delivery, for example, 45 pesos. This is how the same Grab and Food Panda works. And then in addition, for the 250 pesos, we just need to take 20% off. Then the rest goes to our partner.
You have 0 fees right now? I mean, how
Yes, we're implementing the 0 fees
that.
really because we want our customers to test our platforms. So we're able to facilitate transactions already in Thailand and also in US. With 0 fees. But we're still working on with our partners in the Philippines to process those transactions.
What's the average transaction size?
In terms of amount, they are requesting like around 5,000 pesos to 10,000 pesos. But in terms of transactions right now, in a week we're averaging 3 to 5 transactions.
No, single transaction, like single transaction done with a human ATM. What's that average?
In terms of fees?
No, the amount, right? In terms of withdrawal or remittance.
We're averaging from 1,000 to 3,000 pesos really for cash withdrawals.
What is the single highest amount ever transacted?
The maximum amount we were able to work on is 20,000 because that's the limit of our platform. We will not allow users more than 25,000 and so on.
Okay, thank you.
So you're catering for Filipinos, right? And is it you're covering globally, all countries, or you're focusing on certain countries?
Right now, we're focusing in the US because it's a big market. And another also is we really want to penetrate those top 10 countries for remittances, sending back to the Philippines, which is next is Singapore, followed by the Dubai, and then UK and Canada as well. The good thing is we're able to, especially in Canada, we're able to work with payment methods already in Canada, so we just need to work on some legalization. In Thailand also, we're able to accomplish a number of transactions there, doing remittances, foreign exchange.
What's your go-to-market strategies? Because you're competing with a lot of financial institutions, right?
Yeah, for remittances, again, we're targeting the Filipinos. And in terms of the strategy is just allowing Filipinos to feel like they are in the Philippines. Those OFWs to feel like they're in the Philippines when sending money. And also, in terms of the cost, is we can cut down costs for more than 50% compared to the other, let's say Remitly and other. And on the other hand, also in the local market, as we're really working with the facilitating, like for example, Union Bank, to allow their customers in rural areas to withdraw cash instead of going to the nearest ATM of Union Bank.
All right, that wraps up the Q&A portion of PHiram. Thank you for judges for their questions and founder of PHiram, Kenneth Canales, everybody. I'd like to now call on to the stage the founder of IOL, Kevin Philip Gayao.
Hi, I'm Kevin Philip Gayao, and we make cooperative reporting simple and easy. Mercy here almost resigned 2 weeks ago. She doesn't know what to do or what to prioritize: the regulatory reports, the accounting reports, her unborn child, or the members' complaints. You see, in a cooperative business model, the members become co-owners of the business. And many of these cooperatives offer credit services. That's the reason why they're also highly regulated. So unfortunately, many of these cooperatives still make use of manual processes to manage their cooperative data, which results to errors and delays in reporting. In fact, here in the Philippines, 4 out of 10 cooperatives are non-reporting. In Indonesia, the number is less, 30% of the more than 212,000 cooperatives there. So non-reporting can result in loss of tax benefits, hefty fines and penalties, and even the revocation of their license to operate. Enter the ARCS, or the Advanced Robust Cooperative System, where users like Mercy can easily access and manage cooperative data, generate reports from transactions in seconds, get valuable insights from our built-in analytics, and enable transparency and accountability through our logs and user dashboards. Here we can see Mercy logging into her account, and she goes to the report section, and she chooses the reports, the time frame, and voila, you have the reports downloaded easily. So we plan to offer, or we are offering ARCS at $2,990 per month for micro and small cooperatives, and $9,990 per month for large and medium cooperatives. So we started here in the Philippines, and we have a long way to go. More than 18,000 cooperatives with 11.5 million members. But eventually, we would want to tap into the Southeast Asian market, where there are 300,000 cooperatives and 60 million members. And of course, globally, with 3 million cooperatives and 1 billion members. So we will continue working with the regulator, the CDA, to reach more cooperatives in the provinces. And we are also building a learning community using our ARCS Academy. And we are working with the different cooperative service providers like accountants and auditors in order for them to refer the system to their cooperative clients. ARCS is uniquely positioned as the only enterprise SaaS solution for cooperatives that is online, tailored, and integrated. I currently lead a young, dynamic, highly capable business and group of tech professionals and business professionals who are also all members of a cooperative. Our advisors is led by Ernie, who is a tax service provider, as well as a cooperative service provider for cooperatives. Mark, who is our angel investor, and Chester, who is our finance consultant. So far, we have received an R&D grant from the Department of Science and Technology, and we continue to sign memorandums of agreement with the different regional offices of the regulator. And we are currently onboarding 16 cooperatives since February, with more than 5,000 members and managing ₱500 million of assets. So we hope to break even by July 2023 and get to payback period by July 2024. We're raising $1.67 in order to reach 10% of the market share here in the Philippines, expand our platform or components of the platform in Southeast Asia, and develop new features like integrated HR and payroll, including machine learning and alternative credit scoring. Thank you very much for listening in, and let us help make cooperative reporting simple and easy. I am now ready to accept questions from the judges.
That is Kevin Gayao of IOL, everyone. So thank you for your pitch, Kevin. So now we will enter into the 6-minute Q&A portion. Remember, we'll be signaling with a bell once the Q&A is up. All right, judges, the floor is now open for questions.
You're asking for 1.67 million. That's around 90 million pesos.
Yes.
What's your current annual revenue?
zero. So we started operating, we're running on R&D budget right now. So, but we expect to start generating revenue after we're onboarding a certain number of cooperatives, around 100 cooperatives. Yeah, so, yeah.
How do you deal with these co-ops? Aren't they difficult? I mean, you have a special talent for working with co-ops?
We started our own cooperative, and we saw that there's a lot of problems. We were looking for solutions in the market, so we were not satisfied with the current solutions that are available in the market. So being a systems development company, we started our own system, and we proposed to scale the system, and we received an R&D grant from the DOST for that. Yeah. So we have our own cooperative.
Do you have an idea on your competitors in the market? How many of them, and how are you distinguishing yourself from them?
Yeah. Yes, there are actually a lot of solutions that are available in the market that's being offered to cooperatives. However, they are siloed, so they're fragmented. So we try to integrate all of these features into one online platform. So most of our competitors would need to be installed, so they're server-full or server-based. So that's how we separate ourselves. There's also an online competitor. However, they're focusing more on the e-wallet solutions for cooperatives rather than the report generation.
Is there a single regulatory framework that exists within the Philippines?
Yes.
So that's just one. So now that you've understood the problem, you can solve that for all the cooperatives in a similar manner.
Correct.
Is it the same for other countries?
It would be different because they have different regulatory frameworks. So some countries are like France would be very COP-friendly. There are also countries like Indonesia wherein it's not really that, there's that regulator, but the regulation is quite in the gray area. So, so it's different from country to country. So, but we developed the system wherein even if they won't be making use of other features, the core features will still be relevant to them, like the membership information system.
So when you think about now rolling this out outside the Philippines, how much time do you think about would it take to first understand the problem of one country and then customize your solution to be able to, scale it in that particular country?
Yeah. I think through partners, we could do that in 3 to 6 months. Trying to tailor the solution, because we make use of, since we're a SaaS platform, and we develop the system with the intention of possibly decoupling some of the system or easily modifying some of the components of the system to fit the requirements of the target market. So I think that would take around another 3 to 6 months.
You mentioned about machine learning as your future roadmap, right? What
Yes.
exactly the data model that you're looking into, and how you're going to, if you can elaborate a little bit more?
Yeah. So we're looking into forecasting models. I mean, or maybe even ensemble models, different models for different, because we're looking at partnering as well with credit scoring companies, but they currently make use of the traditional one, those coming from the Credit Information Corporation. So we're trying to look into the data sets that we can get from these cooperatives, the information or the data that we could gather from the cooperatives themselves, like for example, employment, because that's not, or employment or their loan behavior. So savings and loan behavior, those are things that we are looking into to feed our algorithm.
You've mentioned that you'll be working with local partners for your Southeast Asia expansion. And how do you identify your local partners? Are you proactively identifying, looking out?
Yeah. So we had a really good experience with working with the regulator. So we would want to first identify who are the regulators in that area, or is there an association or group of cooperatives that we could work with. So that's how we plan to enter a specific market. So yeah.
Have you thought about pivoting so you don't just focus on co-ops, but maybe applying your solution to other types of groups?
Yeah, we're hyper-focused with cooperatives because they're the ones who are most in need of this solution right now. But definitely, if there is an opportunity in the future, like say, we have developed our own accounting system from ground up, and we have our own unique UI UX for that. That's different from the existing accounting systems. We can also decouple that system to become a standalone product.
And that wraps up IOL's Q&A segment. All right, thank you so much, Kevin Gayao. And let us give one more round of applause for our startups in the FinTech cluster. All right, thank you so much, Pehiram and IOL. Okay, so we had health and wellness, we had education, and we now are done with FinTech. So we now enter our fourth and final cluster of the day, the e-commerce and logistics cluster. The final two startups in this cluster aren't simply creating new solutions in the space, but they are also serving very specific gaps and very specific customer segments in the bustling industry. And we are all here for it, right? So I'd like to introduce our last two startups of the day. Ride Radar, represented by Nico Luciano, and Banublix, represented by Noreen Bautista. Let's give them a round of applause, everybody.
Sound check. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nico of Ride Radar. So what we're doing is that we are helping people to find the best or the cheapest on-demand rides and delivery options from multiple service provider. Technically, you can call us as the Trivago or Skyscanner of on-demand rides and delivery services of the Philippines. So please meet Anna. She's one of the many Filipinos who encounter long wait time if only using one provider. And also, she doesn't have immediate visibility of different prices of different service providers if only using one provider. And we also discovered that even the major player has a 65% fulfillment capacity. So there's still 35% that goes unfulfilled. And also, as an online seller, she doesn't have that big capacity to build her own delivery system. And this is also happening to 14 million daily commuters and delivery consumers that's using individual apps. And also to 1 million online sellers that's selling across different marketplaces. And we wanted to get a share of that 1.5 billion total delivery market size in the Philippines. And of course, our solution is we democratize information by partnering with different service providers so we can create a single app for people to find and book multiple service providers without flipping through multiple apps and sites. And that's actually the actual screenshot of our app. And of course, we launched our app way back December of 2021. And from there, we have been growing our user base organically to 65% month on month and 105% transaction month on month. And we have already closed 10 partnerships, both international and local service partners and B2B clients. And of course, we wanted to earn from our user. We charge 10 pesos of convenience fee and 5 to 10% commission fee from our service partners. And also, we know that we have edge in the competition. It's because currently what people are doing right now is that they are manually and painfully checking different prices or just to have access to multiple information. And most of the service providers, they have a very segmented vertical. And there's also one that's doing in New York called Obi Ride, but they're only very focused with the ride. Unlike with Ride Radar. So we provide ease of access to multiple information and providers simultaneously. And also we have multiple segments in one app, which is our ride and delivery. And also we help people save their time and money. It's because we pull the information together. And we are the first one who have done this in the Philippines and in Asia. And definitely, we wanted to grow abroad. But first, is we wanted to activate our phase 1, which is to saturate the Philippine market. And once we're done with that, we'll activate our phase 2, which is to go to Indonesia. It's because they are doing 53.8 billion in the market size of e-commerce and express delivery. And once we're done with the phase 2, we'll go with our phase 3, which is to go to UK. It's because they're doing 14 million express delivery daily. And we wanted to localize the partnership. We wanted to partner with the local service providers as well. And we believe that we are the right team that can deliver this because I came from eBay and Uber. I have more than 10 years of experience, both in the startup and corporate. And personally, I feel the pain points. And Ben, my COO, has more than 15 years of experience in the business operation across the Asian regions. And Jim, my CTO, has more than 12 years of tech experience in different tech industry as a software engineer. And of course, with your help of 400K for SAFE, we wanted to achieve these milestones. We wanted to grow our B2B clients to 200% month on month, and also to grow our B2C by 1 million by the end of 2023. And we wanted to achieve that 700,000 daily active transactions. Based on our business model, we'll be able to make 21 million on a daily basis. And again, Ride Radar, we are helping people to save their time and money by connecting them efficiently and faster to different service providers. And we really wanted you to be part of this amazing ride of Ride Radar. And we are being supported by amazing advisors coming from different startups in the Philippines. Thank you very much. I'm now ready for questions.
Thank you very much. So that is Ride Radar for you, everyone. So just a reminder that the 6-minute pitch will be timed on the screen and will be signaled at its end with a bell. All right, judges, the floor is now open for questions.
Do you have any revenues right now?
Yes, sir. We are already, last March, that's where we got our first paying customers. We ended up with 1,000 pesos. And we are now going to, we are ending our June, by 10,000 pesos. It's not much yet, but that's actually our goal, is to increase the volume of transaction happening in our platform.
Why will the other providers list with you?
That's a good question, Butch. So what's happening right now is that if a user only use singular app, basically because how fragmented the supply and demand, tendency is the user has the frustration of finding a quick ride and delivery. And if I'm a user of your app, tendency is that I will put the negative feedback on you as a service provider. And also what we have figured out is that, again, there's 35% that still goes unfulfilled. And Ride Radar can actually do the allocation. It's because we have already partners with different service providers.
How did you capture data from the big boys, right? I mean, like Grab, they would basically want to kill your business. Why would they even give you their data?
Good question.
Are they open API, or I don't understand?
Yes, we connected via API and we are forming formal partnership with them. So just being honest, I went to Grab last December 2021 2019 of December to have a conversation with them as we are trying to build this ecosystem. Lo and behold, I got rejected, so I went back to the Philippines, and I've discovered that there's actually a lot of local providers. If we pull them together, we still have a sizable market. And what we're doing right now, sir, is that we are connecting via API.
So you're not working with Grab?
Not right now. And that's also one of the things also I wanted to get out from this actually program, to be connected and to lobby to Grab.
I think they should be like around 80-90% of the market share, right? You are fighting the 99. You're David.
Well,
You're
they're
fighting the
not.
Goliath.
So this is what we've discovered. The share of Philippine providers are actually growing. It's just only a matter of time for the local Filipinos to actually get a market share. I know Grab is spending so much money, but they're also losing money in their marketing.
For your internationalization plan, you identified Indonesia as the number one, I think, the overseas country that you're targeting, right?
Yep, correct.
But because I know you selected Indonesia because of the number of the potential markets there, potential customers there. But have you looked at the, like in terms of the competition in the local market, you know, Gojek, they're big, they're a big player. So how do you intend to compete with the local players in Indonesia?
So Gojek they have a very known competition with Grab. And if Gojek would be able to see the value of what we're doing, being part of an ecosystem, then of course, I'm trying to be bold here to really have a partnership with them. And also, one of the things that we're looking at is that not just Gojek having having a cut of the market share, but what we're looking at as well is the pain points that's being experienced as well with the users or with the population of Indonesia. So one of the things that we've looked at is that we gather data from TomTom Index, where it basically tells about the traffic in Indonesia and also the delivery allocation in Indonesia. So those are one of our major pain points that we're looking at as to why we wanted to go first with Indonesia. Aside, of course, from the fact that they have also a massive they have a massive market size of e-commerce and delivery.
Well, you said you have experience working in Ubers, right? So you actually understand, even at the middle of pandemic, they're not actually making money. Because there's the delivery of food, there are also the rides, right? So what you're competing is actually really, really tough markets. How do you want to get out of it?
Sorry, Melvs, can you repeat the last question?
How do you want to get out of it? Because it's a really tough market.
So Uber or Grab, they're very much focused with the transportation. So that's the reason why when we've realized that because of the pandemic, transportation was put on hold, that's where we did our pivot. We started first aggregating all of the service providers in the delivery. And later on in time of our startup life, that's the time we'll be adding the ride category. But that's already part of the pipeline.
So did you say that Grab a 65% success rate if somebody wants to get a ride?
Yes, correct.
What's the success rate with you?
I don't want to say that it's only Grab. Those are also one of the major some of the major players. Like it's the average of the major players.
What is it with Ride Radar, the success rate?
The success rate of Ride Radar is 98%. We experience month-on-month of 2% unfulfilled requests. So it's still higher compared to the success rate of a single provider.
If you look at all your, I'll be quick, just give me a number. Like if you look at the number of providers that you have, like what is the split, right? Let's say you have 10 providers. Is it just one getting 90% and then the others, splitting the 10? Like what does that look like, that mix?
So right now, what we're doing or how we're improving it is that it's based on we show who is the cheapest first, because most of the time, based from the behavior of our users, they would select the cheapest. So that's how we are splitting that's how we're studying the data.
All right, thank you so much, the judges, for your questions. And
Thank
of
you.
course, the founder of Ride Radar, Nico Luciano. I'd like to now call on stage the final contender of today's competition, Noreen Bautista of Panublix, everyone. Let's give her a round of applause.
Maayong hapon, good afternoon. My name is Noreen Bautista, and we're here from Panublix. We connect designers with tropical textiles and artisan craft so we can create a climate-positive future. I come from Iloilo City, which used to be known as the textile capital of the Philippines. Our name comes from the word panublion, which means heritage, and I love wearing heritage in everyday style. Now, I have good news and bad news. The good news is fashion is bouncing back. Since COVID-19 shaped consumer behaviors towards sustainability, we're seeing a forecasted growth of up to $15 billion for ethical fashion by 2030. The bad news is, this is an industry that needs to radically decarbonize as it contributes to fossil fuel polyester affecting the climate crisis. it risks the livelihood of our artisans and enterprises who produce for the industry. Artisans like Ma'am Elda. She's a master weaver in Iloilo, but on top of the COVID-19 pandemic, she has had to deal with super typhoons affecting her livelihood. Unfortunately, she relies on polyester. But this is why designers like my co-founder Margs is important. She can provide market access to Elda by co-designing with her and creating products for people like you and me. Now, she lacks access to data, and the supply chain is very fragmented. And that is where Panublix comes in. Panublix is a sourcing platform and marketplace that connects designers with tropical textiles and artisan craft. How do we do this? We have direct access to raw materials through strategic partnerships with yarn producers. The Yarn Center in Iloilo can produce 50 kilograms a day of sustainable cotton, abaca, and pineapple. We also connect with a nationwide network of artisan enterprises through our Weaving Enterprise Digital Enabler. This is not only a sourcing technology, but also development program that provides trusted relationship with artisans while providing data analytics for the supply chain, which can also track impact. Now, this is for the suppliers. We have partnered with 60 brands and counting who use tropical textiles. These brands have contributed at least 2 million or almost 2 million pesos in sales, gave jobs to over 200 women artisans, and replaced 200 kilograms of polyester with tropical fabric. Now, that's for the designers and artisans. We're building an ecosystem connecting to consumers. What I'm wearing right now is a product of the Panublix Co-Design, where designers can offer their designs for consumers on a pre-order model. I'm wearing a hand-woven terno by Ma'am Elda, co-designed by an Iloilo designer. Shoes made from cotton pineapple by Lacat Sustainables. Now, this is the key to shape consumer behavior towards sustainability. There's a $1 trillion opportunity to decarbonize the fashion supply chain. Part of the solution is to support preferred fibers like tropical textiles. This is why Panublix is here. Now, how do we do this? The key to access international markets is to have standards. We have identified the Better Cotton Initiative, which is most in demand in Europe and Asia, our target markets. But accessing these standards are expensive. So we're raising $500,000 to not just access the standards, but provide baseline data and benchmarks so we can build a full stack ecosystem. So we can ensure materials, makers, and designers comply to the sustainable fashion market. Textile Exchange says there's a preferred market of 970,000 metric tons of better cotton certified textiles. That's an estimated market of $13 billion. We already have a team ready to do this. Our co-founders are from diverse fields of science, design, agriculture, and we have a team also of data scientists and climate scientists. Now, this is just the beginning. All we need is your support. Invest in us, and help us decarbonize the fashion supply chain. Madam Ogid nga salamat. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Noreen Bautista of Panublix, everyone. So now we enter into your Q&A segment. Please be mindful of the bell and the final question that will be posed by the judges, all right? So your 6 minutes begins now. Judges, the floor is now open for your questions.
Thank you. Just a clarification, are you exporting your products to other countries now or just catering for the Philippine market?
We have already received orders from France and Milan. We're actually doing a sourcing service for a designer in Milan. But we cannot yet export because especially European Union requires the standards to be complied first. So we need to access it first so we can export in bulk. Yeah.
I actually just got back from Europe, and I've seen a lot of like textiles, garments from Indonesia, Thailand, and other neighboring Southeast Asian countries there. So how would you like promote your products over the neighboring countries' products?
You know, it's interesting because we're finding out that the Philippines has lost decades of missed opportunities to revive our textile industry. This is not new. We've seen startups like this in Indonesia and India, but they have very robust and mature ecosystems for textiles. Philippines, 30 years of missed opportunities. But we have this strength in our artisanal textiles. And even our fashion designers here can attest to that. That is the strength of the Philippines, and that's what makes us different. Not mass production, artisanal.
Well, thank you. I actually like your sustainability angles, right? Especially addressing the ESG-focused countries in the Western Europe. So they also sometimes would like to understand, you know, the integrity of the materials are actually really environmental friendly. How do you ensure the integrity of those data?
I think when we researched about the Better Cotton Initiative specifically, we chose it because it's not as strict as organic cotton, and they have a very detailed manual for farmers. In Iloilo, we already have direct access to the cotton farmers. Once we have the standard, it already gives us a template that we can eventually backward integrate to the farmers. So even from planting the cotton, but even like the variety of cotton is identified, so we can really achieve the regenerative fibers is what the industry is now demanding. Yeah.
I will give you suggestions that look into from a technology perspective so that you can prove that this material is actually from the origin and it's more environmental friendly compared to the others. It will bring you far away.
Thank you so much for the suggestion.
Who's your market? Is it everyday? I mean, is it women who want to buy environmentally correct things, or is it like customers in Europe who want to order from you?
So we have two business models. First is a B2B sourcing platform. Our customers are actual designers. Usually they're of Filipino descent, but they market to Europe and Asia. And they recognize they need to source from the Philippines because it's a unique selling proposition. The second is this co-design model, which is a direct-to-consumer platform. We're just getting so many inquiries for people who want to have ternos like this and shoes like this. It's not limited to women. We have men actually purchasing our shoes, and also barongs as well. So this provides also a revenue stream for the designers who don't have yet that internationalization capability.
Any revenues right now?
Right now, we average an MRR of 100,000 pesos, and we hope to scale that as we have more co-designs for the direct-to-consumer.
Is that really an MRR though? Like, I mean, is that really recurring? Are these not like one-time projects that you get into?
So far, of the 60 designers that we've had, they have been giving us purchase orders monthly. Some, we just shipped actually a 60,000 worth order to the Baguio designers. And we're slowly getting more scale also. So many of the designers who work with us, they really source on a regular basis because the demand is also growing on their end. Yeah.
I love the product. It's beautiful. It's sustainable. I think you've got the whole supply part. You know, that's good. What's the go-to-market strategy, right? Like, I mean, are you just really relying on the Filipino, you know, like design diaspora? Like, I mean, like, is there any other broader strategy in play here to scale this globally?
I just came from Tokyo. They are very much into making sure we have regenerative fibers. The aesthetic of neutrals is very appealing to them. They are already wanting to make a purchase order, but we just really need to make sure our quality is consistent. That's why we can't really scale immediately. We have to make sure with research, with science, with data, that we can comply quality consistently also. Yeah.
Today's the competition is right more focused on international expansion. Can you elaborate a little bit more? What's your visions? How are you going to scale even more?
The Philippines has a chance to be a textile leader if we focus on our artisanal textiles. But that will include also going back to our farms, because the quality of our fibers is also with how our fibers are farmed. And we can do that. We just need the platform and the funds to make that happen.
You may need a partner in overseas, in Europe, who can supply you with the types of companies or designers who want to order from you.
Yes, there are designers that we're working with already have clients like the Milan designer is very much well connected to the Milan fashion scene. We also have someone who is selling to the French and pitching for the Qatar 2022 World Cup. But those are the opportunities that we could harness if we make sure we have consistent quality.
Thank you so much, Noreen Bautista, the founder of Panublix, everyone. And thank you once again to our judges. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the 8 startups of the Arise Plus Yay Boost Accelerator and the contenders of today's pitch competition. So they've all shared with you all their innovative solutions, and now let's give one final round of applause for all 8 startups that pitched today. All right, so now it is time for the judges to take time to discuss and deliberate on today's presentations. So who will take home the grants for today's demo day? Well, you will all find out shortly. Today, we're not actually just looking to find out what the judges think, but we also want to find out who you all, the audience, think about who will win today's competition. Who was your favorite startup? Who had the best solution? We do have an award for that called the People's Choice Award of the Day, and you get to choose the startup for that award, all right? So you have learning management solutions, payment channels, you have a marketplace for local artisans, mental health accessibility platforms, and more. So you have the pick of the litter, folks. All right, so to vote, I'd like to call our audience right now to look at the screen and to scan the QR code that will be flashed. So this will lead you to a Mentimeter where you can take your pick and pick your favorite startup, okay? So that will be your People's Choice vote cast in. While we take a short break, once again, please go to this QR code site, or you can go to www.menti.com and use the code that is flashed on the screen right now. All right, so we'll leave the QR code flash on the screen for a few minutes for each of you to cast in your votes. Once again, I'd like to reiterate your contenders for today. You have Alaga Health, you have Empath, you have Panublix, Ride Radar, Payhiram, IOL, and all right, so Keep Up Education and Cerebro. Okay, thank you everyone, and I hope that you are all able to cast in your votes, okay? So we'll see you all in a few minutes. Once again, we'll be leaving the QR code on the screen to take your vote for the People's Choice Award. See you all shortly. Hi everyone, just a reminder that the People's Choice Award, you can only select one startup, all right? Please vote for one startup, okay? Now, once again, we're leaving the QR code, so please do cast in your vote and let us know who your favorite startup is for the People's Choice Award. See you all shortly.
question. Can we survive without trade? Maybe. But you wouldn't own this phone. You wouldn't be having this coffee. This video wouldn't exist. Trade has helped 1 billion people move out of extreme poverty in 30 years. Trade helps companies grow and become more productive. Developing countries can grow more quickly by importing ideas and inputs and exporting goods and services. Transparent global rules that we all play by keep trade flowing smoothly for countries big and small. Trade lowers prices and creates choices for consumers. Still, you might say not everyone wins. And you'd be right. So how can we make trade work for everyone? By following the 3 A's: act, adapt, align. Act by implementing policies that inspire entrepreneurship and protect workers and the environment. Adapt by equipping people with the skills to take on new work and jobs that haven't been invented yet. Align business and government decisions with international rules and goals, and partner up.
Startups changing the world. That's our vision. We believe in building a globally competitive startup ecosystem right here in the Philippines. I mean, it's about time, isn't it?
But how do we do it? Let's ask Cuba President.
Kubo is the country's first venture at a physical space to help the startup ecosystem. It's a public-private sector partnership between JP Morgan Chase Foundation, Ideaspace Foundation, the Department of Trade and Industry, and the Department of Science and Technology.
Wait. Did you say public sector? The government? In the Philippines?
Yeah, and they're very supportive. We're proud to have them as a partner. We hope to inspire Filipinos to come and join and be part of this ecosystem. And we want to bring their dreams to reality. In the end, it's going to help themselves, it's going to help their employees, it will help this country.
What do we actually do?
Well, we do this, 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 and this. Whew, seriously? That was so tiring.
But you're missing one more thing. You also do this, the JP Morgan Incubation Program. Kubo picks the top startups from all over the Philippines to be part of the incubation program, where they will receive dedicated mentorship, advanced professional services, curated workshops, and assistance to exiting. External party involvements include government agencies, the Philippine Stock Exchange, and major investors. There's a potential for global exposure as well. Wow, we do a lot, don't we?
Yes, it's actually as simple as encourage collaboration, develop the community, and provide incubation. Oh gosh, we're so cute.
So, if you are interested to join our events or be part of any of our programs catered to startup development, all you have to do is
Sign up! Sign up! Sign up!
sign up.
Sign up!
And together,
Let's build
The Philippines
Startup Community!
We believe that positive and real change is going to come from the next generation of entrepreneurs. Driven, young entrepreneurs from across the world are finding solutions for the world's largest challenges, like climate change, urban development, health issues, and youth unemployment. Being a young entrepreneur is exciting, but not always easy. That's why we set up the Yeah Community, the online community for and by young entrepreneurs. The Yeah Community connects young entrepreneurs from around the world to coaches, resources, growth funding, and, of course, other young entrepreneurs.
The Yeah Community is an interesting platform in that it brings together young entrepreneurs to inspire them and to motivate them to take control of their own future.
So I think the online community for young entrepreneurs really is a valuable platform, especially because it's worldwide. You meet entrepreneurs from all over around the world, and they share their stories. So you can actually learn a lot from them.
My experience with YE community has been very rich and fruitful. I've engaged with them because of their mentorship program, which has given me a great mentor. She has helped me to consolidate my business plan and move from the prototype phase to the business and product phase. Also, IE Community has given me the opportunity to present my work to investors and policymakers at the UN, the G20, and other places. And in addition, I've made great friends from all over the world.
Through the community, you can reach out to other young entrepreneurs in your country and beyond to learn from their experiences, find business opportunities, or just have a cup of coffee. And the best thing is, it's free. So, what's stopping you? Connect, learn, and grow by joining the fastest growing global community of young entrepreneurs today. See you on the Yeah Community.
A lot of opportunity. Slowly but surely. Potential. Diversifying. Perfect digital storm.
energetic.
It's young and dynamic. Very promising. Exciting with an exclamation point.
Exponential.
I've heard from one of the leading partners of Golden Gate Ventures. He said that he has seen more investable startups in the last 6 months than in the last 4 years.
You see more startups today than ever before here.
There are a lot of resources available that weren't available when we started.
When we say government, we're actually talking about DOST, the Department of Trade and Industry, the Commission on Higher Education, CHED, and the other government agencies working together to make sure that our startup ecosystem will actually succeed. We have 2 programs under this year. The first one is called I2Tech. This is for startups with early stage prototypes. We give them assistance in product improvement, market testing, data gathering, business modeling, etc. The second is iScale, provides assistance in scaling up operations, testing of products for certification, rolling out of services. Then we also provide funds for our startups. For now, we have invested 61 million in 15 technology-based startup companies. Basically, after they do the research, they go to the Technology Business Incubator or TBI so that they will get the support needed for any startup. The Kubo Innovation Hub today signals the country's first venture directed to facilitate the growth of startups and entrepreneurs.
Well, Kubo in a nutshell is the Philippines' first attempt at joining the world's startup ecosystem.
Kubo has been one of the centers of networking and community building in startups in the Philippines.
We offer a whole range of services to help startups grow. These include everything from classes and networking events and workshops and consultations, really all for free because we want to help startups succeed.
Kubo provided a whole range of things, like printers that we can use to print our document, up to conference rooms that we can use to meet our customers and to meet our investors.
Government provides the resources so that we can help them out with the things that they're not expert in.
Kubo has helped me a lot. Having a community and a place where I can come and join programs that I can learn from.
Well, Kubo would not exist without the government.
That's why we partnered with the OST in this new type of program that brings together the government and the academe with the private sector to make ideas come to reality.
We believe that the young people of Kubo will actually help us encourage young Filipinos to venture and start their companies locally. This is one of the goals of the OST, to create a robust entrepreneurial environment.
The Philippines has a very bright future ahead of it in terms of tech startups.
The big opportunity will come from the local conglomerates, local corporations, understanding the benefit to them.
The e-commerce market in the Philippines is about $500 million in value. They're saying in the next 10 years that it could be worth $10 to $20 billion.
And that's a vision of a country full of young startups which have become large companies and employ huge numbers of Filipinos.
It's a very exciting time to be an investor in the Philippines.
Question: can we survive without trade? Maybe. But you wouldn't own this phone. You wouldn't be having this coffee. This video wouldn't exist. Trade has helped 1 billion people move out of extreme poverty in 30 years. Trade helps companies grow and become more productive. Developing countries can grow more quickly by importing ideas and inputs and exporting goods and services. Transparent global rules that we all play by keep trade flowing smoothly for countries big and small. Trade lowers prices and creates choices for consumers. Still, you might say not everyone wins. And you'd be right. So how can we make trade work for everyone? By following the 3 A's: act, adapt, align. Act by implementing policies that inspire entrepreneurship and protect workers and the environment. Adapt by equipping people with the skills to take on new work and jobs that haven't been invented yet. Align business and government decisions with international rules and goals, and partner across the globe to reduce poverty, curb climate change, and create good jobs. These are big tasks, so start small and cast wide. Smaller firms employ most people, so help them by making trade faster, easier, and cheaper. Include women and young people to help communities succeed in the long run. Let's make trade work for the 99%. Join the conversation. Share why trade matters to you.
QBO? Cubo?
It actually just stands for Kubo, as in the Bahay Kubo. And yes, we do have our very own Bahay Kubo in our office.
Just like the Bahay Kubo, we stand for Bayanihan or teamwork. Kubo is a place where the community can come together to help ideas flourish, showcase Filipino innovation, and build great companies.
Filipino startups changing the world. That's our vision. We believe in building a globally competitive startup ecosystem right here in the Philippines. I mean, it's about time, isn't it?
But how do we do it? Let's ask Kubo President.
Kubo is the country's first venture at a physical space to help the startup ecosystem. It's a public-private sector partnership between JP Morgan Chase Foundation, Ideaspace Foundation, the Department of Trade and Industry, and the Department of Science and Technology.
Wait. Did you say public sector? The government? In the Philippines?
Yeah, and they're very supportive. We're proud to have them as a partner. We hope to inspire Filipinos to come and join and be part of this ecosystem. And we want to bring their dreams to reality. In the end, it's going to help themselves, it's going to help their employees, it will help this country.
What do we actually do?
Well, we do this, 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 and this. Whew, seriously? That was so tiring.
But you're missing one more thing. You also do this, the JP Morgan Incubation Program. Kubo picks the top startups from all over the Philippines to be part of the incubation program, where they will receive dedicated mentorship, advanced professional services, curated workshops, and assistance to exiting. External party involvements include government agencies, the Philippine Stock Exchange, and major investors. There's a potential for global exposure as well.
Everyone
Wow,
back
really
into the main hall for the next segment. So please find your seats and we'll be beginning in a few minutes.
If you are interested to join our events or be part of any of our programs catered to startup development, all you have to do is
Sign up! Sign up! Sign up!
sign up.
Sign up!
And together,
Let's build
The Philippine
Startup Community!
We believe that positive and real change is going to come from the next generation of entrepreneurs. Driven, young entrepreneurs from across the world are finding solutions for the world's largest challenges, like climate change, urban development, health issues, and youth unemployment. Being a young entrepreneur is exciting, but not always easy. That's why we set up the Yeah Community, the online community for and by young entrepreneurs. The Yeah Community connects young entrepreneurs from around the world to coaches, resources, growth funding, and, of course, other young entrepreneurs.
The Yeah Community is an interesting platform in that it brings together young entrepreneurs to inspire them and to motivate them to take control of their own future.
So I think the online community for young entrepreneurs really is a valuable platform, especially because it's worldwide. You meet entrepreneurs from all over around the world, and they share.
All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I hope each and every one of you have casted in your vote for the People's Choice Award today. Okay, I know all of you here in the audience now and watching live on Facebook are eager to find out who is taking home the cash grant of the day. And you will find out shortly because I'm really excited as well, okay? But of course, before we head on to that, I want to call on a very special person in this program to, of course, not just say hi, but to also give her closing remarks and goodbye message for all of you. So, I'd like to call on for her closing remarks, Ms. Claire Sterngold, the Yay Community Manager from the International Trade Center.
In the program where I am blocking all of our young founders from finding out the results, but I hope you guys can bear with me for just another few minutes here. So good afternoon to everyone. It's really great for me to be here today in Manila with you all. As you can see, my name is Claire Sterngold, and I'm here on behalf of the International Trade Center and the Arise Plus Philippines project. As has been mentioned, the International Trade Center is the joint agency of the World Trade Organization and the United Nations with a mandate to support small businesses and entrepreneurs to be more competitive to engage in trade. Before we dive into my remarks, I would very much like to thank the team at IdeaSpace and Kubo for their excellent work in organizing this event and for their support throughout the program in implementing the Arise Plus Yay Boost Accelerator. I would especially like to thank Aya Hernandez, August Koo, and Alwin Rosell for the time and energy that they have dedicated to this program and to supporting these young founders. Please join me in giving them a big round of applause. And of course, the Arise Plus Philippines project would be nothing without the excellent support of the Department of Trade and Industry. So a big thank you for Yusek Fita for also sharing her remarks here today. So within the ITC, the Youth and Trade team, of which I am a proud member, I work directly with youth entrepreneurs worldwide to empower them to be successful business owners and to ensure that youth have the right skills necessary to establish businesses, or should they wish, to plug into the job market and find decent work. I support young people to establish ventures, foster innovations, create jobs, and develop their leadership skills to contribute to economic development through entrepreneurship. I am fortunate enough to work daily with young and motivated entrepreneurs who work tirelessly to be the change they wish to see. With the Youth and Trade team, I oversee the YAY community, which just stands for the Young Entrepreneurs Community. YAY is a global community for youth entrepreneurship with over 30,000 members worldwide, hailing from more than 170 countries. This global community provides youth entrepreneurs with access to networks, resources, opportunities, mentorship, and so much more. The online YAY community platform is further supplemented through offline in-person networks called YAY chapters. We to date have more than 19 YAY chapters worldwide, which are managed and hosted with local ecosystem enablers and youth representatives. Together with Kubo IdeaSpace, we have been collaborating since 2020 to provide access to opportunities and events to strengthen awareness on entrepreneurship and to build the capacities of youth entrepreneurs through the local YAY chapter Philippines. But today, I am here representing the Arise Plus Philippines 4-year project. Under this project, once again, I am fortunate to be working with these excellent Philippine stakeholders and youth entrepreneurs to identify where ITC can play a role in enhancing the competitiveness of youth-led Philippine companies and supporting them to engage in international trade. To empower youth under the Arise Plus project, we will strengthen the entrepreneurship ecosystem and relevant business support organizations and aim to equip youth entrepreneurs with relevant skills to boost their competitiveness, particularly in regard to digital skills and access to international markets. Over the next 2 years, this will be the focus of my work, and I look forward to collaborating with many of you to see this through. Under the Arise Plus Philippines project, we have again collaborated with Kubo IdeaSpace to implement this Yay Boost Accelerator. This 14-week program has aimed to equip youth-led businesses to be able to tap into support with this special focus on intellectual property, preparing to internationalize, and investment readiness. This accelerator will be conducted twice a year and will aim to establish a pool of youth-led businesses that are prepared to access international markets and are ready for investment. Over the course of the project, we aim to support more than 100 youth-led businesses through this accelerator to build up this pipeline. Over the past 14 weeks, the Kubo team and I have brought together local and international experts to support these 12 youth-led companies taking part in this first cohort. I can say today that the value of this program is clear. We have seen immense growth from these 12 companies. Here are some stats for you all. Just under 9 million pesos have been generated in revenue. That's $157,700 US over the course of 3 months, a 64% increase over the course of these months. 18,600,000 pesos or 330,000 USD in new investments have been secured. That's an increase of 157% since March of this year. So please give these founders a big round of applause. Many of these young teams have taken advantage of the learning shared by various experts on international trade regulations, market research, intellectual property protection, and financial modeling to adapt their financial models, build out new marketing plans, engage with international firms to conduct market research, and protect their IP. We have directly heard from the founders that this focus on internationalization has offered them unique insights to link them to experts that have contributed to building their confidence and their engagement with foreign markets. The YayBoost Accelerator's mentors and trainings have contributed directly to these founders' business acumen and their business models. Okay, so now I get corny. I know we're about to announce the winner of a pitch competition, but I just want to say to all these companies, you're all winners in my eyes. Maybe I have 2 more sentences. So, seeing the drive and passion for serving their target customers and their commitment to the Sustainable Development Goals through their innovative business solutions has really made me more motivated than ever in my work. Seeing the innovations of Panublix to connect local artisans to market, the dedication of Payharam to serve the unbanked, KIPAP's focus on engineering students who may have been struggling or left behind, to Alaga Health and Empath's commitment to ensuring everyone has access to health coverage. These innovations, all created by young, driven Filipinos, will undoubtedly contribute to economic progress and the creation of valuable jobs and the provision of necessary services in the Philippines. So, while this program may be coming to a close, I know that this is only the beginning of your journey, and on behalf of the ITC team, I look forward to continuing to connect you with valuable resources and opportunities under the Arise Plus project. So, the winner of the pitch competition will receive today support and linkages to EU-based programs, to EU opportunities, investors, and of course, what everyone's waiting for, the grant prize to continue scaling their opportunities. I know it's just a drop in the bucket, but really, every bit counts. Let me end by saying the world needs more young entrepreneurs like you all. Your innovative ideas are essential and could be the solutions which save our planet and perhaps even our species. Hold your heads high and be proud of what you have achieved thus far, but keep pushing and inspire others to do the same. So now, let's get to the fun part, the part that everyone's been waiting for, and announce the winners. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Claire. Okay, now, like what Claire said, let's get to the fun part, okay? Now, before we head on to the awarding, like I said, this is quite the milestone for the startups that have undergone the Arise Plus YayBoost Accelerator. To celebrate this occasion, I'd like to first call on all 8 pitching startups for a commemorative group photo, all right? So may we ask all 8 startups that pitched today to come up on stage, and we'll take a group photo for today. All right, everyone, let's give all these 8 startups a round of applause. Thank you so much to the pitching startups. Don't go anywhere, because now we'd like to call on the rest of the startups that were part of the Arise Plus YayBoost Accelerator for a complete cohort photo. With that, we'd also like to call on to the stage our partners at the ITC behind the program to join the photo, all right? So, for those who don't know or maybe have forgotten, we do have 12 startups with us today, and you get to meet them later during the networking event, all right? Okay, I have a favor from all 12 startups. One more photo, but on 3, say together, yay! Alright? Ready? On my count. 1, 2, 3, yay! Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much to all the 12 startups. Okay, now you may exit the stage and find your seat in the audience because we are about to get to the fun part. Okay, the moment you have all been waiting for, folks. Okay, I wanna get a pulse check of the room, okay? On 3, if you're with me, if I have your attention, together, let's say yay, all right? Okay, 1, 2, 3, yay! Okay, I heard some people, I think that's good enough. Okay, now, the moment you've all been waiting for. Who is going to take home the grand prize for the top 3 startups and who will be taking home our People's Choice Award? Before we find out the winners, I'd like to reiterate what's at stake for the winning teams of the competition. The overall winner will be receiving $3,000 US, while the second place winner will be receiving $1,500 US, and the third place winner will be receiving $500 US, respectively. In addition, all 3 winners will be given opportunities to build stronger networks with EU partners and investors to support them in expanding their ventures to the global market. Okay, like what Claire said, it's a drop in the bucket, but every bit counts, right? Okay, I got a nod from all the teams here. To award our first startup, I would first like to call on stage one of our esteemed judges, Mr. Miguel Encarnacion. And I'd like to also ask the Kubo team for your assistance in awarding our third place startup. First, we will be, a People's Choice Award startup rather. So we will first be awarding our People's Choice Award startup, the one that you, our audience, have chosen today, okay? So are you guys ready to hear who won our People's Choice of the night, the crowd favorite of everyone in the audience today? So, our winner of the People's Choice Award is IOL! Congratulations, IOL, for winning the People's Choice Award. Now please come on stage to get your prize from Mr. Miguel Encarnacion and to take a commemorative group photo, alright? Please smile for the camera in 3, 2, 1. Okay, congratulations, Kevin and the IOL team. Thank you, Miguel Encarnacion, for giving our prize, our People's Choice Award of the night, everyone. So now, the announcement that I think everyone's itching to find out now. Who takes home the money, right? Who takes home the money? So now, we'll be awarding our top 3 startups of today's competition. All 8 startups that pitched did a wonderful job in the pitch event and have all the more have shown their growth throughout the accelerator program. But only 3 startups will be going home with a prize today, and it's time to find out the judge's choice. To award our third placer, may we call on stage our esteemed judge, Mr. Melvin Jeffrey Chan. All right. So everyone, are you ready to find out who will be taking home our $500 for tonight? Okay. So in third place, we have, drum roll please, Alaga Health. Congratulations, Dr. Dexter Galvan and the Alaga Health team. Kindly come up to the stage to claim your prize, your big check, of course, and to take a commemorative group photo. Congratulations, Alaga Health. I believe Dr. Dex is requesting a teammate to come up. So please do come up on stage and join Dr. Dexter Galvan in retrieving your prize. Accepting your prize, okay? All right, let's give one last round of applause for Alaga Health, everyone. Congratulations, Alaga Health, Dr. Dexter, and the Alaga Health team. Okay, so we have our third place down. Who will be taking home our second place award of the night? So to award our second placer, I'd like to call on another esteemed judge this evening, Ms. Maes Alconcel, to award our second place winner. So once again, I'd like to reiterate that the second place winner will be taking home $1,500 this evening. So this will help them in scaling their ventures and moving forward with their plans. All right? So, Ms. Maes, are you ready to find out who is about to win? Okay, our second place of the night is, drum roll please, Empath! Okay, everyone, please, round of applause for Empath. I'd like to call on founder Steph Naval to accept their prize. Congratulations, Steph, and congratulations to the Empath team. We'd like to call on the Empath team to join the group photo on stage to get your prize. Congratulations once again. May we have another round of applause for Team Empath. Congratulations once again to our second place winner of the day, Empath. Congratulations, Steph and the Empath team. Okay, wow, that was so fun. Okay, we have our third placer and our second placer. Now it's time to award who is going to win the $3,000 this evening. All right? To award our first placer, I'd like to call on Ms. Claire Sterngold once again and our Head of Startup Development at Idea Space Foundation, Alwin Rosell, to award our first placer of the evening. Okay? So, I believe this is the moment of truth. Who is taking home the $3,000? Now, our first place winner this evening in the Arise Plus Demo Day Accelerator is, drumroll please, Panublix! All right, congratulations, Noreen Bautista and the Panublix team. Please come on stage to claim your prize. Congratulations, Panublix. Congratulations. All right, before Panublix, don't go anywhere. We'd like to call on stage all three startups. So Alaga Health, Empath Corporation, and Panublix. As well as we'd like to call on stage our judges to take a photo with our winning startups. All right. Once again, we'd like to call on stage all three winners. So we'd like to call on Alaga Health, Empath, and Panublix to come up on stage and take a commemorative group photo with our judges. Congratulations once again. Okay, so top 3 startups first. All right. Now we'd like to ask the judges to come up on stage to take a photo with the 3 winners. All right, thank you so much. We have Mr. Melvin, Jeffrey Chan, and Maes Alconcel, everyone. Let us give one last round of applause for our winners and also a round of applause for our lovely judges today. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, our People's Choice, our top 3 startups of the day, and of course, one big congratulations to the whole cohort for finishing the Arise Plus Yay Boost Accelerator, okay? That wraps up our demo day for today. After this, we will be opening the startup booths so that we really encourage everyone in the audience to stick around, talk to the founders, talk to the teams, and get to know all the startups today. We now have reached the end of our formal program. So on behalf of Ideaspace Foundation, the International Trade Center, and of course, our startups, our biggest thanks to each and every one of you for attending today's event. Once again, my name is Bettina Gamboa and I have been your host for today. Thank you and have a great evening ahead.